Well, RJ Young wants to know which college football coach is in the best spot to win a conference or national championship first. Brent Venables, Brian Kelly, Alabama's Kalen DeBoer, or USC's Lincoln Riley. You know I find that last one laughable, but let's break down the query posed by everyone's favorite college football podcaster that's not on a step mill, RJ Young, and maybe even add a couple of candidates to either or both lists. Right now on Hall of Fame College Football with Jason and the coach.
You know what, guys? In a nice way, y'all. We don't give a shit.
Good evening, and welcome back to Hall of Fame College Football with Jason and the coach. I'm your host, Jason Watkins. He's the coach, Philip Royball, and we have a special guest, another coach, Big Cuz Marcus Dent. If you
Man, what's
love
going
college,
on, man? Appreciate you guys having me.
you're cutting off my intro, man. And if you
Love
love
you,
college
dude.
football, you know you're in the right place. So before you forget, smash that red subscriber button, like our videos, and don't forget to ring the bell so you don't miss one moment of Hall of Fame college football. Now go ahead. What's up there, coach? Coaches? What's up, coaches? How we doing?
Yeah, man, it's good to be on, man. Just doing some research, man. Couple things me and you was talking about the other day, man. So, just doing some research, trying to get some things rolling. And man, this college football is this is the craziest stuff I've ever seen in my life in just the last year or two. The way things are changing, man, it's bananas right now.
And
Bananas.
it ain't slowing down, brother.
No, sir. It is not. It
Nah,
is
it's not, coach. It's not slowing down at all.
we're gonna have a lot of fun with the topics we got coming up for sure. I got a topic that I think everybody's gonna enjoy tonight. Talking a little bit about this, Coach. Good to see you tonight, Coach. How'd the grandkid do out there wrestling tonight?
You know what? He had a great night. They did a lot of just one-on-one wrestling tonight where he pinned his guy about 8 or 9 times, and and
Pretty
and
good.
and and the guy going against him pinned him once.
Okay.
Uh, and I was pretty pissed off at him for getting pinned on that one.
It
But
sounds to me like he might have let him do it though. I would just that's just
well,
my
I don't know if he was just tired or I didn't. We didn't get into a lot of conversation about it because I don't think he wanted to talk about it a whole lot
Grandpa
because
rough on him, man. Grandpa
because
rough
his
on him.
pop his
Gotta
papa
be.
was in the middle of his ass.
Papo gets on that ass, buddy. Gets on
That's
that
right.
ass. Hey, welcome into the show, Stephen G. Yes, sir. We got her. Uh, Aaliyah is coming to town. I love it for Oklahoma, man. Number one player in the country. Congratulations to Jenny and uh, and the Oklahoma Lady Sooners. It's just a Sweet 16 bid. Really coming into the toughest league, you needed to get that one difference maker that
Oh yes,
we kind of been talking about that. And of course, you know a lot about that, Coach Dent, with your wife being a former Lady Vol national champion herself. So she, it's always takes that one
yes,
dynamic player, right?
yes, yes. And
It
she's
does.
been she's been talking about that the whole season. I mean, she's kind of fell in love with Oklahoma basketball. Man, she's been watching them the whole season and just kind of looking at some things. And she was like, man, if Oklahoma just had that one special girl
Yeah.
that could could take over a game, they would be dangerous. And look like they just came up with that, with the big commit today. That was huge for them.
Yeah.
Aaliyah's a great player. She's a difference maker.
She really is.
Obviously, Gatorade Player of the Year. I was truly surprised because since she was 8 years old, guys, she wanted to be a Lady Raider. And so I was truly surprised that that went that way. Obviously, y'all got a little bit more money in the pocketbook is one thing. But the second thing I think here is she talked about how she just fell into the Oklahoma family.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah.
The coaches and the players, and that makes all the difference for a kid. I mean, you want to go somewhere where you feel good about it, and so I'm glad. From my perspective, I'm glad she didn't go to Texas Tech, or Texas, or South Carolina. Now that one, I was a bit surprised that she didn't take South Carolina more in thought on that process. And
Yeah.
I'd like to know what the ultimate answer was to that, because as we all know, I know y'all got a Sweet 16 berth, but South Carolina's in the hunt every year.
Yeah, no
Uh,
doubt. I mean, she's Don Staley's proven to be the best coach in the country, got the best program in the country. They've won what, 3 out of 4? Something
Yes.
like that. So
yeah,
she's kind
that
of
surprised
taking,
me.
But
you
you
know,
but you but you know what I'm seeing right now, Jason?
mhm,
Look at the Sweet 16s on the boys and the girls side. You, the mid majors, you don't see them. You don't see the Villanovas
yeah.
right now, especially the guys. You don't see the Gonzagas because it's coming down to money and who has the most money, who's going to get the best players. So I think the George Madisons of the world that made it to the Final Four, you just not going to see that anymore. If you look at the SEC right now and the boys, how many teams they got out of the 16? 7 or 8? I mean, it's a lot. So,
Wait,
you
wait, wait.
know,
As far as the SEC men,
yeah, how
that,
many teams is it 6 or 7 or something like that?
no, that made it to the tournament, 14 got
I'm
in.
just talking about
Oh,
going to
that
the
are
Sweet
left.
16. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, just
Oh,
look
yeah.
how deep. Every year you always had that one Cinderella, that Cinderella season. Man, Cinderella done took them slippers and gone, bro. That,
Yeah,
that money,
exactly.
that money didn't change. You ain't got to worry about striking 12 anymore, bro.
Well,
Yeah,
and I think
no,
that's as big a part of it as anything too, is if you're able to put in the money for the NIL stuff to get these kids around. Because if in college basketball, it really seems like it's changed a lot.
Quick.
Even it's made it even more I guess volatile, I guess is what you should say, as far as your roster is concerned, because a lot of you're seeing wholesale changes on these teams from year to
Yes.
year. And
Yes.
I mean, we saw Kansas State. I know they got into the Sweet 16 this year, which kind of surprised me that they even made it into the tournament, because they had some moments where they were really bad this year, but they played really well at times too. But they went to the Final Four a couple years ago, and they had a completely different team the next year,
Right.
and then
well,
they have a completely different team this year too.
I'm going to give you a great example of what y'all are talking about. TCU,
Yeah,
they pretty much sucked ass a year ago, and they picked up a ton of people out of the transfer portal, all
Correct.
upperclassmen. And here we are. And again, kudos to my lady fighting Irish for
one of the
being
best teams
back
in the
in the
country.
one in the Sweet 16 again, for the, I think, fourth year in a row. But with that being said, I mean, we have our hands full with TCU just because of the transfer portal.
Correct.
Yeah,
So you recreate a whole team, and just like Coach is talking about, it's the money. You got the money to go out and get them.
yeah, you got to do it, man, and
Gonna
that's
do it.
and honestly, that's actually, and that's a good segue to what James had brought up, asking here a little bit before, was he asked if let's see, what's your feeling on Porter Moser? I feel like we should encourage him to move on. And I wouldn't necessarily disagree with that. I don't necessarily have a problem with him staying either, because we're talking about a coach that, first off, Oklahoma hasn't been playing the NIL game when it comes to men's basketball.
Right.
They're one of the lowest in the SEC. They've literally missed the tournament the last couple of years by one game, by one win. Won 20 games both of those years. he came from a situation that, you know, obviously the expectations aren't as high at a place like Loyola or Chicago, but they went deep in the tournament twice. Went to the Final Four that year, didn't they?
Yeah, yeah. But you think about this. He had a couple 20-win seasons and didn't make the tournament. Now
Right.
that's the difference between being in the SEC, I believe,
I
because
agree with that.
he wins 20 this year, he makes the tournament.
Well, yeah, they were a 9 seed this year. 9 seed
Right.
this year, you
That's
know?
what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
hey, you got to spend the money. You got to spend the money.
Whether or not, I don't know whether he stays or goes. It sounds like, I don't know if Villanova's going to go after him or not, if they are still in pursuit of that or not. But I tell you this, I know it's hard for me to. I mean, I don't have a problem if they do encourage him or if he decides to make a move on his own, because we all know that he's taken a lot of hell from the fan base. There's a lot of expectations, and just like, for whatever reason, when you have expectations for your football program or any program, you end up having the same expectations for everybody throughout.
Correct.
Billy Tubbs hadn't been in there in a long ass time. Lon Kruger isn't there anymore, and Buddy Hield either. And they're not playing the NIL game. They have a pretty awful arena that the city of Norman hasn't been real helpful in trying to get. Yeah, okay. I thought that they were off of them. That's right, Stephen G. Thank you. But so I don't know that I necessarily think that it's a problem of it's a Porter problem. I think it's a problem of you need a GM that's gonna go and find some guys that are gonna help you go. And I think you're gonna have to start coughing up some cash for
Yeah.
that NIL stuff. And that means the fan base that's expecting so much can dip in their pocket a little bit too for that NIL stuff. Because make no mistake, all this rev share stuff is basically going to be about football. It's always going to be about football, which means that we're going to have to, if we want winners, you're going to have to fund them as fans ourselves a little bit, at least a little bit, at least a little bit. And if you're not willing to do that, the expectations probably ought to drop a little bit when it comes to the basketball program or any of them, and they obviously had to cough up some cash for Aaliyah.
Oh
I would
yeah.
say, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. I think
There's
the
no
same
doubt.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But she was a piece that you need. And I think the
Well, Jenny's
AD
done
and
such a fantastic job with piecing together what she can put together. Won a
yeah,
couple of conference championships in the Big 12, but she
mhm,
didn't have the firepower to really compete at the highest level of the SEC.
right. But she done well. I mean, and what a player like this, man, it's gonna make all the difference in the world. Trust me. I mean, right now, she is one of the better coaches in college basketball because I'm just looking at what she did with what she had. And I follow college basketball, women's college basketball, a lot. I really don't have
Yeah.
any choice, but but
I was fixing to say, what choice you
yeah,
got? You don't
yeah, I
watch
don't
TV,
really have
you
a
don't
whole lot
watch
of a choice, man. But
it.
you
I
know,
love college women's basketball.
yeah, me too, man. It's just a little bit more pure, but I'm telling you, man. I think Oklahoma with this and the way they're going with with her, and I think it's just a great pickup. I
Oh,
think,
man.
I mean,
It's
and
huge. It's
Oklahoma too,
absolutely
man,
huge.
being able to keep
I
her,
mean, you just got the best player in the country, guys.
yeah.
I mean,
Good
hell, how
pickup.
can that not be a
Listen,
great pickup?
she took her team at Lubbock Monterey to a state championship in Texas 6A.
Yep.
That's huge.
Oh, she was a woman amongst girls.
Mm.
she she's incredible.
But think about this too, Jason, the coach. Now that you get her, that's an attraction piece for somebody else.
Absolutely. I mean, when you go out and you get great players, you know they're going to bring in other good players,
Absolutely,
great players, and
absolutely.
so that's
Look at
how it
Caitlin
works. I
Clark.
mean, a
Look
lot
at
of times, a lot of times, the players do a better job recruiting
sure.
than the
Oh,
coaches do.
definitely,
Oh yeah.
definitely.
They know who they want to play with, and they know they game recognizes game.
That's
So
it,
when you start looking at, you take a look at Caitlin Clark in the WNBA right now. they have put together a freaking team that can go out and win 1 year after they have the number 1 pick because they're trying to put ballers around her that are, are able to, number one, protect her and do some other stuff. But I think you're going to see the same type of thing where they're going to go and it's going to be easier to go talk to some of these other high 4 and 5-star type of players,
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. And all you tell them is, look, we got Aaliyah, the best player, you know, across the country, and now we want you to be able to be her teammate
Exactly.
because we only need 2 or 3 more people here, and we're going to be playing for natties, and that's going to perk kids up.
Yeah.
Man, and look,
Well, and even just what Stephen G said, Jordan Brand itself helped with, they signed her to a deal, an NIL deal. So, being a Jordan school was a big part of that. And so that was probably a big part. But it's time for listen, there's no two ways around it. The NIL is here to stay in every sport. And if we're willing to put up the money in football and we're willing to put up the money for the softball program, which is, going for 5 in a row this year, national championships, you got to be willing. If you expect to win, you got to play that game because nobody's going to win without it.
No, you're not. I mean, you're going to have to play that game to win. And it seems like Oklahoma stepped up with Aaliyah and, they did whatever was necessary to get her in Norman. And that's all that counts. And just like Coach said, now that's a recruiting tool. Look, man, we got Aaliyah. We got some more pieces. We add you.
They've got some other good players too.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. I said we add. I'm just talking about as a recruiting deal for the kids coming in. It always helped to have the number 1 guy, girl, gal, whatever the situation is. But the thing about it is probably the best recruiting tool that they will ever have by just signing her.
Yeah. But now you better do something with her, though, guys.
Oh, you're gonna have to do something with her because if not, hey,
she's gone.
She's gone.
Yeah.
And
I don't. What do y'all guys have coming? Coming back next year off of this team. I hadn't really paid attention to that, but I know it's going to be critical.
They've got a couple of their players that were key. They're losing definitely a key senior who I believe it was the point guard, right? This year. So that's important with Aaliyah coming in, being a point guard herself. I don't think that they're I mean, I don't know. Be honest with you. That's the other thing. It just depends on, there's gonna be people out there looking for your players. If you made the Sweet 16, there's gonna be players or schools that are out there looking and willing to pay more to get better.
What about the portal? I mean, they might pick up a couple pieces in the portal to go.
Exactly. Like I said, TCU, they built their whole team around the portal.
It's just about everybody's back though.
But let me ask, and I'm just not to add, but I just want to ask this question. And maybe it's not a question; it's a statement. I think it's really going to be important to see what Oklahoma does against UConn. I think that's going to be critical.
Sure.
Because if you get in there and you let UConn blow you out of the gym, that's not going to be very helpful when it comes to, recruiting and portal. I think that will offset things for you guys. But if they go in and play a good ball game, hell, if they win, it's man, what a
I have a hard
time
believing they're going to beat UConn, really. But
if they did, I'm saying it's a trifecta. If you win that ball game against UConn.
Well, here's the deal. UConn doesn't play in the freaking SEC. Yeah, they're a great ball club. They won championships, but they don't have the same players that they had 4 or 5 years ago.
I won't agree with you on that one, buddy.
You see what I'm saying? And Oklahoma is physical enough to bang them. You got to bang them. You got to slow them down. You got to beat them up. And Oklahoma got 2 down low that can beat you up, bro. You know,
I'm not going
so
to buy that one, Coach. I'll sell that one.
you'll sell that one. But I,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just looking at it, man. I know UConn is a great ball club, but you got to think
Well,
about
but
it. Oklahoma
here's the
has
thing,
played
though.
with
You
some of the
still have
best
to
teams in the
play. You get into the tournament, though. You got to you get to where you get to, and UConn is definitely one of the best programs in the country. They have been
Yes,
for the last 2 decades.
Well,
yes.
now
The
you
last
have the
time
best
an Oklahoma
16.
women's team, the last time an Oklahoma women's team made it to the Final Four was 2010. So we're talking 15 years. It's definitely a big difference in the two.
Oh yeah, I know
And of
that.
course,
Definitely
Jenny
know that.
wasn't around, and these girls weren't around. I mean, most of them were barely, they were young pups by the at
Yeah.
that point. So,
Yeah,
We're in high school.
yeah.
Some of them in junior high.
yeah, junior
No,
high.
and the last time they were in the Final Four, they were probably 3, 4,
Yeah, because
Yeah.
2025. Yeah, yeah, you're
20.
right.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
That's
you're
right.
right.
So yeah, it's tough to. I mean, it's just tough to compare them. And look, I mean, you say what you want about Gino, and I know that there ain't no love lost for Gino and Tennessee houses. I get that, but I can
Don't
understand
not
that.
say that name in this house.
Oh, I wouldn't say nothing wrong with it. But the truth
Gino
is, though, the guys are
Gino got
winning
a couple of rings, those boys and girls.
more
Oh
than one,
yeah, no
more than
doubt.
a couple too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
No doubt.
like I don't know if you've seen his picture lately, but he showed it with all his rings on both hands.
Yeah, I think that
And
there's look until I mean South Carolina even has a ways to go before you start talking about yourself in the breath of Tennessee or UConn.
yes,
Because those are the two major women's programs of the last 30 years, 40 years
yep,
even. And
absolutely.
they've been exactly what, but I mean it would be huge if Oklahoma could find their way into the Elite Eight by beating a UConn team, and this is without having the best player. Now look and see what you're going to end up with coming from that. It could turn things around tremendously. Now, do I think that they? I mean, I wasn't really intending to have this huge of a conversation about this, but I'm glad we are. Do
Right.
I expect them to do it? No, no. But I'd love to say. But hey, man, I'll believe. We'll see how it goes. I
Hey,
think that they're
once
scrappy, man.
you're
They're scrappy.
once you're this far down the road, guys, anybody can win this damn thing.
Mhm.
Now I know you got your favorites, obviously, but you look across the board at the people that are still in. Let me look at my list here.
Battle tested
It's
is
pretty
one
chalk.
word.
It's
So,
pretty
Yeah.
chalk, man.
well, and I tell you what, there's nobody in there.
But that's normal for the
You know,
women's tournament. It's always tough.
UCLA's been beat. Uh, LSU's not the LSU of past.
No.
And Kim Mulkey sucks, by the way. But anyway, moving on down the road here. Now, I tell you, a team that everybody better be careful with is North Carolina State. They are danger looming, guys.
Yeah, I've
Uh,
been hearing a lot
uh,
about them.
Southern Cal, they lost Juju Watkins.
Yes.
That's
Yeah,
going to
dude,
hurt them
that was
tremendously.
terrible. That was sucks for her too, man. Because what
Yeah,
a fantastic player she is,
yeah, a
and
great
for
player.
her to go down like that, and it's just man, that
No,
sucks. That sucks for SC. I mean, it sucks for her
College
more than
college
anything.
basketball, yeah.
Yeah, I think
you know,
it's
they- and I
because
and I'm going to tell
they
you what,
still won
guys.
by 30. Shit, they still won by 30, but they're not going to go
Yeah,
to the Final Four without her.
no,
No.
no, and Kansas State has a good chance to upset them this
They're
next
good.
ball game.
Yeah, man, they're
And
good. Kansas State's women they've been a good they've been a good team for the last few years.
Mhm.
obviously, y'all have UConn, but UConn's been beat, guys. Uh, Matter of fact, we beat them. Notre Dame beat them.
Tennessee
Uh,
beat them.
Tennessee beat them exactly. So it's not like there's somebody here that can't be beat.
Right.
You look, South Carolina, they've lost ball games. Maryland squeaked in. I mean, hell, Alabama should have beat their ass.
Oh man, come on, bro. I watched that game.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Alabama,
Alabama had 2 foul out before regulation,
exactly.
and that
And if
killed.
they don't have that happen, they're in great shape. I
And
tell you another thing.
Parker, whatever her name, she played one hell of a ball game. The
Yes,
kid from Birmingham, I think
yeah,
she had about 40 or 41. Man,
yeah.
Yeah, she was all they had in that
She was
overtime.
she was incredible. Now I tell you what, the other team you look at here in this bracket that could make some noise is Duke. You know, they're playing pretty damn good, guys.
Right.
Uh, Obviously, got an interesting game coming up is Texas Tennessee. That's going to be a very interesting game. That one can definitely go either way. And then we're playing Notre Dame's playing TCU. You know, we lost to TCU early in the year the tournament,
Mm.
and then we went on a 19 game win streak. But again, my whole point is there's not anybody in this tournament you just say, ah, shit, they're going to win it, hands down. It
And
ain't
South
happening.
Carolina's going to win it. I'm pretty sure. I feel like South Carolina's going to win it, but
I think it'll be between South Carolina and Texas. One of the two.
Notre
We
Dame.
beat Texas. We beat Texas, guys. We beat the top three in the country. We
Notre
were
Dame's
at
got a
the top
nice
of
team,
the.
man. Notre Dame's a lot better than people gave them credit for sure. For sure.
Well, we lost 2 out of 5 going down the stretch, and that hurt us a little bit. But I think we're refreshed. You know, we were up by 55 in the first ball game, and then in the second ball game we were up by 33, and I think we're refreshed and ready to go again. I think we needed some time off,
Yeah,
but
sometimes you got to have those fresh legs, man.
you do.
You got to
And
have
I
those fresh legs.
tell you what, guys, y'all can argue with me on this, but we probably have the best backcourt in the country with Olivia Miles and uh, my mind just went blank. Uh, how can my mind leave me like that?
I already know that answer. I know that answer.
Yeah, getting old. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
You got it. But yeah, and I think anytime you have two of the best guards in the country, you're always going to have a chance.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
I think
I
too, coach.
look. I think there's a lot of good basketball left to be played. I think it
Yeah,
sucks for Juju to not be in it,
I
and
do.
for the SC team, that sucks for them. But I feel bad for her more than anything. And it's just it's a tough way to go out, man. It
Yeah, it
really.
sucks, man. It definitely sucks. Um, Notre Dame is one of those teams, man, that you don't want to see. I'm just gonna be honest with you. They can beat you any given day. Um, One of the best coaches in women's basketball. They definitely have that, man. So it just it's gonna be interesting, man. And I'm pulling for the Sooners, man. And
Absolutely.
I'm pulling for them, man, because the coaching job that she's done is phenomenal for what
Yeah,
she has, and
I
that's
agree.
and it
She's one of
stands
the
out.
best coaches in the country. There's no
Yeah, she is, bro.
no
She
doubt about
is. And you know what? Oklahoma is a big brand. It has the Jordan brand, but guess what? If she makes it Elite Eight, Final Four, Oklahoma they better help pull out the checkbook.
Absolutely, they better.
And
Absolutely, they
damn right
better.
they better, because I'll tell you what,
Because somebody's gonna be after her. I can promise you that.
and not to mention those players.
Yeah,
Again, you have to retain. The biggest part of the transfer portal in every sport is retention.
yeah. I mean,
We've talked about it with football. We're going to continue talking about it with football, and we
Yep.
can talk about it tonight. I mean, you better get your ass to work as a university, as an athletic department, and as a fan base to keep your players that in house that you want to have.
yes.
Yeah.
There's just no two ways around it.
No, there's no.
Because it's an arms race, and it cheap and going cheap ain't the way.
Mm-mm.
And I'm going to tell you guys, first of all, and I remembered her name, Hannah Hidalgo. And those two are the best backcourt in the country. But I'm going to say this: I am praying for a Notre Dame Oklahoma national championship ball game.
That would be sweet.
Wouldn't
would
that be fun,
sweet.
guys?
That would be sweet, man.
There
I
might
mean,
be a little shit talking when we get to that point, right?
Oh yeah, no doubt about that, man. I mean, it's possible. I mean,
It
anything is
is possible.
possible. You get hot. I think Oklahoma's on what, like, how many games they won in a row? They won a bunch. They got.
I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I don't know. I
Man,
hadn't.
they went on a little run at the end.
Yeah. No, I know.
For
I
the
know they
for
won
the
at least
champion.
like 3 or 4 coming down the stretch of the season.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Coming down the stretch of the season, they won.
Yeah.
Man, I want to
Yeah,
think it
they're
was
hot.
like 7 or 8.
They're definitely on a hot streak for
Yeah,
sure. For sure, for sure.
Well, and we were just the opposite. We went 19 straight wins, and then we just petered out at the end of the ACC tournament, and we looked like shit. Uh, so, but I think with the last 2 ball games, we're rolling again.
yeah.
And I tell you what, guys, we got just looking at our roster, we got some people that are probably going to the WNBA this season, 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah. Hey, want to say hello to Charles Crows Fly High, Stephen G, Sooner in Texas, Drewski. I think we already say hi to you, but Unk, Tristan Griffin, Beleon 2005, James Thrice, let's see, Satterfield, Sooner in Texas. Let's see who else we got. We got a few more in here, man. We got a nice crew in here. Riley 2-0 versus SEC. Goated. What's up, Goated? Johnny Boy, Nathan Campbell. Good to see you guys in here, man, as always. Ganja, Oklahoma Ganja Gore. That's our guy right there, man. That's my guy right there. Johnny Boy, good to see everybody in here. And yeah, Ryman, yeah, you're pretty much the only one. Chris, what's up, my man? Good to see you. Yeah, man, good to see everybody in here. Make sure that you wipe your feet on your way in. Hit that like button. It's so important for us. We've got currently on the YouTube side alone, we have about 50 people in here, and we have 15 likes. So come on.
Come
It
on,
just dropped
guys.
down to 33 on that side, but at least have the amount of people that are in the YouTube stream. We need the likes for that, man. Come on now. Help us
I
out
think
here.
if they don't, I think if they don't like, we got to go on a silence deal
Yeah, we can
till we
stop
hit a
talking about
certain
stuff.
number.
We can definitely stop talking about stuff they want to hear.
Yeah.
You know. So, and I don't know, maybe we're not getting likes because we're talking too much hoop. But you know, it is a football show. But that being said, we'll talk about whatever the fuck we want because you know it is this show. This is what we do. It's how we roll. But no, we're glad to see everybody in here. One of the other things, let's see, what else were we just going to talk about? Oh, well, we'll go ahead and jump
Coaches.
into the biggest topic that you know, as I was saying in the pre-intro there earlier, it was kind of funny, but everybody's favorite or used to be favorite as far as Oklahoma fans are concerned, RJ Young wanting to know which college football coach is in the best spot to win a natty or even a conference championship between Brent Venables, Brian Kelly, Kalen DeBoer at Alabama, and Lincoln Riley. Yeah, right. I find that last one pretty laughable, but I think we could add in Sark at Texas. Yes, he won the Big 12 on his way out of there. Billy Napier of Florida. I'm not sure that he's won. I don't know. He may have won something in, you know, maybe he won the Sun Belt. I don't know. Old Sun Belt Billy. Marcus Freeman can't win a conference championship because they don't play in the conference, but he could definitely be the next one to win a natty. Dan Lanning won the conference in the Big Ten in their first year last year. He still hasn't won a natty or done much of anything aside from that. Tennessee's Josh Heupel, who made the playoff last year. Lane Kiffin, who's yet to do either. And James Franklin, who won, I think he won in 2016 in the Big Ten, and he's been pretty trashy since. I would just say that there's a lot of folks that you could kind of look at, and I want to look at all these guys and say, who do you think? Because to be honest, I think the biggest question is, you know, and they're trying to drive. You know how he is. He's an Oklahoma guy, so he's definitely trying to drive up clicks and views and everything else. And I think it may be a year or so premature, but you never know. But why is OU's Brent Venable on RJ's list as far as winning a national or even a conference title right now? He says it's because there's a lot of people that aren't at Oklahoma, quote, that are around Oklahoma that are saying good things about Oklahoma, particularly John Mateer. I'm not sure how many talking heads outside of those connected to the OU program are speaking all that highly of OU and Brent Venables. And I mean, quite frankly, aside from JD Piquel right now, for whatever reason,
Yeah,
he's
he's
all over
he's
him. And
drinking
it
all the
almost makes
Kool-Aid.
it weird, right? Makes
He's
it weird.
drinking the Kool-Aid. Every other day he's
After
got something.
yeah, after him saying they were going 6-6 last year, I'm not sure how to take it. But quite frankly, there's plenty of OU talking heads that are populating my comments on this channel right here that have, well, let's just say they have their doubts.
Yeah.
So why do you, I mean, coach, either one of you guys take this. Why do you think that this is becoming a conversation piece, or why do you think they're bringing it up?
Well, I think just because of the 6-6 schedule last year, um, all the things that has happened around the program, um, and right now John Mateer is a great talking piece for everybody in the country. You just want to keep it real. Um, if you have had a chance to look at anything that has gone on in that practice in the last 2 weeks, you would know that that's not the same football team. Now, yeah, they're going up against each other, but that defense that he's throwing touchdowns and making all kind of plays, that's just not no any defense. That's a pretty good damn Brent Venables defense, and RJ Young is, I watched the show a lot, and I think we are a year or maybe a year or two away from competing for that natty. I think that 2024 class that came in will be the first class that competes for a natty in maybe 2026. That's just my opinion. Now, when it comes down to Napier, they still want him out. Although he won 8-5 last year.
Yeah.
But go look at the front part of his schedule, guys. It's a damn gauntlet,
Well, that's the
you
thing
know.
about it is that on top of the fact that, I mean, when you start talking about Venables and Napier, they have the top two toughest schedules in America
Yeah,
coming up this year
yeah.
too.
So I mean, come on. I mean, you talk. I had a conversation with a guy talking about Ole Miss and how many games Lane Kiffin has won in the last 4 or 5 years. But let's go look at that schedule. You flip that schedule to somebody else. Do they have 10 wins? A lot of people will have 10 wins with that schedule. Yeah, you beat Georgia last year. Georgia wasn't Georgia. But you also lost to Kentucky. You also lost to Florida, you
Mm-hmm.
know?
Mm-hmm.
So I think we have at Oklahoma have just as good a chance as anybody else, but not in 2025. 2025 is going to be a retooling deal. I still feel like we can win 8 or 9 ball games in 2005. In 2006, with a
25
sprinkle
and
here and
20.
there.
You're saying 25 and 26, I'm guessing?
Yeah, 20. Well, yeah, 25.
2005 is a long damn time ago, bro.
I said 2025. My bad. 20. The 2025 coming up this year. 2026. I think we should be in position. We should be in position to make the
Right.
playoffs and go deep in the playoffs in 2026. That's just my prediction.
Yeah.
Now, if Florida mess around and be 5-0 and 6-0 with that schedule, they're gonna be held. It's gonna be hell.
Same could be said for Oklahoma, but I'm going to pass it to Coach
Exactly.
real quick. Coach, what are your thoughts on that? I know you're a big Venables guy, and you were talking about, we've talked about this a lot, that we kind of saw OU and Notre Dame kind of in that, paralleling in a lot of ways. Now, last year obviously was a tough year with all the injuries and everything else, but you know, what else?
I, I still see Oklahoma, and I agree with what Coach is saying. I think it's a year or two away, but I still see Oklahoma continuing to improve. I still, I wish Texas had y'all's schedule because their ass would get throttled, and they'd be saying what they were saying about OU last year. Uh, but I truly believe in Brent Venables. You know, he's a friend of mine, and but not just because he's a friend of mine. I've sat down and had many one-on-one conversations with Coach Venables. He actually helped me with a lot of stuff with our program at Skyline, and we talked a lot of X's and O's on the board. And defensively, he's a genius. I, you know, Jason,
Coaching
just
for
like
his
you
job
said,
too, you know.
and I'm sorry, guys,
No,
but
sorry.
just like you said, Jason, you know, he's he's gonna be successful, and it's just a matter of time. And what I wanted to allude to, what you said about Jason, was that there was a lot of parallels to Marcus Freeman and Coach Venables. And Marcus has hit his stride a little earlier, but I'm going to tell you what I think the difference is that Marcus surrounded himself with great coaches
Well,
in
he
the
got a better coach
process.
on offense, you mean, offensively?
Yes, absolutely. And but his assistants, his staff, were a lot better than what Venables had. And now he is definitely upgraded. And I think this is obviously a new season. I think we're going to see an improved Oklahoma football team. Obviously, you know, college football today, you got to stay away from injuries,
True.
especially to your key players. But I agree that Coach Venables should be on this list. Uh, and
Well,
I'm going to tell you this: Riley, uh, guys, come on, man, shit on that.
yeah.
You know what? This, and I don't listen to this dude. He's got to be a straight running dumbass, in my opinion. If you're going to pick Riley, and you know what
Well,
is Lincoln done? What has he done
no,
besides
he
besides
played.
shit on himself?
No, I know, and that's. I would tell you that if anything, when you look at RJ, if you're talking about RJ, um,
Yeah, I'm talking
he
about RJ.
he takes care
RJ's a
of those
dumbass.
coaches that have given him the time of day back when he was just a podcaster on YouTube, just like the rest of us. Now,
Well,
I've got respect for the way that RJ grew his channel and his platform, and now he's at Fox. But I agree.
great for him.
To me, I think that that's the biggest deal is that he is. It's you know what, it's click worthy and stuff. And you know what, we're listening to USCJ as much as I love USCJ every day, all day on every channel that you see him on. He's telling you how USC is about to win the whole damn thing. I don't buy it. I don't care if they've got the number one class at the moment. They have the number one
I,
class at this time last year too and couldn't hold it. Apparently
I love
they're doing something with their NIL according to him. I don't know. We heard that last year too. In the
I
end,
love my brother
I love
USCJ.
him too, man. He's my guy.
But
He's
I'm
my
gonna tell
guy.
you
I'm not
what,
hating on him.
I got to holler at him, tell him to get off that crack he's on, because and what I'm talking about is the
Call your team
Lincoln.
trash. 'Cause that's
What
what
I'm
they
talking
are, trash.
the crack I'm talking about is the Lincoln Riley ass crack, because it ain't happening, brother. It ain't happening. But anyway, what other coaches were on here on this list, Jason?
The list that he's talking about Kalen DeBoer, Venables, Brian Kelly.
Kelly ain't gonna do shit. I'm just telling you.
Well, I mean, to be fair, here's what I would say about LSU is a concern for me.
Yes,
They've
me
got
too.
they've
Well,
got
they
probably the
should beat
best.
anybody. They should beat anybody because
Right.
you know they've had coaches that come in, won a national championship,
I would also
and they're
tell you
out.
that I'm
But
concerned with Alabama. I know a lot of people aren't concerned with Alabama. I am. They got Ryan Grubb back, and they have a couple of quarterbacks that can throw it.
Yeah.
They got one of them being Keelan Russell that came from your buddy system
yeah,
there. And
Duncanville.
yeah, listen.
Well, but I'm going to tell you what, Alabama's going to have to prove it up.
I
Kalen
agree with that,
DeBoer ain't done
except for the only
shit.
thing
He's
I would
got to
tell you
prove
is
it.
every year too he's ever been in, they've been unbelievably good.
Well, it's going to have, like I
No,
said, Prove it.
He went out and got grilled. I mean, the thing about it is he has a coordinator now that heck Saban wanted him. You know, Saban tried to hire him twice and he didn't come. So I mean, he got my thing about Alabama. Alabama's going to have players,
Sure.
but I
But you
just
got to put
don't
it
know
together.
about the quarterback play. That's the biggest thing right now. I
I
think they got
still think
everything around them, but the quarterback play is going to be the big dipper for them, bro.
I still think Alabama's going through a huge culture change.
Oh, they're
And
doing that.
I'm not sure they can get it done this year because it's the culture change there has been huge.
Yeah,
And
it's
there's a split, guys. There's a split, and the split leans far one way because most fans and players loved Nick Saban because he was a winner. Kalen DeBoer's a winner too, but he's got to prove it up before that culture shifts around. And guys, I'm going to tell you, a culture can kill your ass. And
Well,
if
he hasn't
people don't have
been
full
real with,
buy-in,
as far as BK is concerned. He's fake. It's a lot of
BK's as fake as you can be.
That's what I'm saying, and I feel like that's the thing with him is that you have to remember that Kelly's pretty fake when it comes to all that shit. But
Jason, how
and so
many
is
big
Lincoln
games?
Riley. So is Lincoln
How
Riley.
many big games? Tell me all the big games that Kelly has won.
Yeah, very few.
Ah!
Just he beat Dabo a couple of times. You got to give him that.
Yeah, he did.
When?
But
Did
here's
he
the
not
thing.
get? Did he not get into that playoff that year and beat Dabo that year in Clemson?
Oh yeah, he did.
Well, coach,
He did.
let me ask you this: you talk about culture, you talk about things like that. So, are you saying that like what Kalen has going on right now, it just doesn't fit what Alabama is or what the fans is looking for? Is that
Not
what
what
you're
it
saying?
has been.
Oh
Not
no,
what it has been.
it's never going to
And
be
and
that.
and,
It's
and
never going to
well,
be
and that's the thing. Can he survive that whole transition of the
They still
culture?
have enough talent to win it at any time if they just put it
Uh,
together. Look at Coach O. I mean, who's
But
going to
that's
say
the
that Coach
thing.
O is one of the
That's
best
the
coaches in
thing.
America? Because it ain't
That's
me.
the thing. That's the thing, though. You got to put it together. He damn sure didn't do it this year.
And
And
as far as BK is concerned, man, I don't think he's the right culture fit for that program.
same
I just
kind of situation.
No,
I
he's
just
fake. He
don't.
did. I don't think he fits. I don't think he fits LSU.
I don't think he fits LSU.
Yeah.
I'm not saying
He
I'm
didn't
not
fucking fit Notre Dame either.
I knew you was gonna say that. But what I'm saying is he a good coach? Yeah, X's and O's. I think he's a
Yeah.
good coach, but I don't think that is the right fit for him in the SEC. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I'm not just
He,
saying LSU. I just don't think he fits here.
he's a lot of smoke and mirrors, guys. Lots of smoke and mirrors. And yes, he's won a lot of ball games. Unfortunately, I have to say he's the winningest coach in Notre Dame football history.
Man,
Uh,
that's a hard
but
pill to
he
swallow.
but he never could win the big ball games. Never.
Yeah.
Uh, and so, but I agree with you, Coach. I don't think he's a good fit. Number one at LSU, and he started it off really, really bad with
Yes.
all his fake shit he was doing.
The
And then
accent.
yeah, the whole, and number two, guys, he's just doesn't fit the mold of the SEC, which y'all already said.
Yeah, the thing is that it recruits itself. I think that they could catch lightning in a bottle, but and here's the thing. I don't know. I mean, we could go through and look at their schedule a little bit. I think that overall, it depends on what their defense looks like. I think they're going to be a little bit better, but offensively is where they're the scariest. And we saw last year where Oklahoma went in and put Nussmeier on his ass, and he came out of there like, I don't know what they gave his ass in the locker room,
Oh
but he
man,
came out like a
they gave
bat out of
him
hell.
some of that good.
He wasn't feeling no pain.
They
for
gave him
sure.
some of that good, man, because he come
Yeah.
back with a damn cape on his damn back.
No, the winningest coach at Notre Dame is actually Brian Kelly. He's the winningest coach in Notre Dame history by wins.
Trust me,
never won a natty.
Texas, I know.
Yeah, but that being said, again, yeah, and you guys know what I think about Brian Kelly. I think he's fake as shit. Period. I think that just like Lincoln, they make excuses for their shit all the time, and for USC, this Riley 2-0 saying it's been speculated by many SC fans that USCJ included that Dave has had a role in pushing kids to Oregon over USC. That's a bullshit. I can tell you, Coach and I both have had conversations off the air, plenty of conversations off the air with Big Dave. He doesn't talk shit about anybody.
Right.
He didn't talk shit about anybody. He was saying some stuff about Big Dave, but he said that shit about Dabo. He said that shit right on the air with us.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's not a talk behind your back and do all that shit. And Mateo made the decision to go to Oregon.
Yes.
Mateo made that decision.
Here's the thing. I'm just gonna say this about BK, and I'm gonna get off of him. I think he has to, in order for him to win a natty at LSU, his whole coaching staff has to be just solid all the way around and take him out of the equation. Because you gotta look at it, guys. He's gonna get every recruit in Louisiana. He's not gonna lose. They don't lose Louisiana kids to anybody else. Not if they really want them. And Louisiana has a bunch of good kids. Now, is it possible for him to win there? To win a natty? Ogeron did. It's possible. Anything can happen. If old coach can win one, he can win one too. So
no,
I'm not saying he can't win one there because they have enough talent for him to win one.
Chances are small though, because I'm gonna tell you, he'll find a way to screw the pooch.
Listen, we'll see. We'll see kind of where that's at, and that's one of the ones that, getting back into what we were talking about with Venables, because I didn't give you my side of it.
Mhm.
Look, I believe I see them hitting that 9-3 mark, and if you have a special season like you could have, yeah, maybe you get to 10-2. Now 9-3, I think, would get you in the playoff because of the fact that you were playing this monster schedule. Unless really, you don't have any games that you can say this is a game that you should never lose. You go on the road now. I'm not a big believer in South Carolina, but you're on the road there, and we know that's a damn tough place to play on the road. I'm not a huge believer in Tennessee this year, and you got to go on the road and play at Neyland Stadium too. Those are two tough games.
Mhm.
They're having a live stream as we speak over there at the Water Cooler Podcast at Auburn, talking about how Jackson Arnold may not be the starter at Auburn. And if he isn't, that becomes a bear of a game even at home. Ole Miss, I believe, has probably dropped off a little bit. I don't believe in this. I'm not declaring Alabama dead until I see them die.
No.
Not doing it.
I'm not doing that either. I'm not.
I don't think they're dead. But they're
Plus, you gotta play them in Tuscaloosa, though.
they're fish out of water flopping around on the bank.
They still have the most loaded
I think they're dangerous as hell.
And they're hoping to get back into the water.
I think they're dangerous as hell. I'm just gonna be honest with you. If they get that quarterback situation straight, guys, I think they're dangerous as hell. Just being honest with you. They got players. They definitely got damn players.
And I'm just saying, prove it up.
Yeah, I get it. I understand.
Yeah,
that's the same thing people are saying about Oklahoma. Prove it up. I get it. I'm 100% with you on that.
Well, and I think that, and that's why I think that it's fair to expect it, a year out from now, because on top of that stuff, everything that I'm saying is you could see if they get to 9-3, which I think is doable. I really do, because here's the truth of things. If it wasn't for Jackson Arnold and the worst injury luck that you've had in history, plus Seth Luttrell being the worst offensive coordinator I've ever seen. Look, I'll just tell you, I think that Oklahoma probably wins 9 last year.
Yeah.
They should have beaten Missouri. He pissed that one down his leg with nobody on him. He boots it off his knee in regulation to lose it. When they were winning with 2 minutes left, they don't even get to overtime.
Nope.
The Ole Miss game, he fell apart in the second half. Look, we had a bad game. He had a terrible game against Tennessee. That was awful. And then we had the worst game plan I've ever seen in my life against South Carolina in the first 5 minutes, and they're down 21. It's all over with. But the truth is, even if you win, let's just say you win one of those, that's 7 wins. If you win, and you should have beaten Mizzou, you should definitely have beaten Navy. We know that. There's 8 wins. If you just win 2 of those games that we're talking about, that's 8.
Well, if I'm not mistaken,
they had no offense, Marcus. They had no offense.
Yeah, I mean, I look, bro. I was right there looking dead at it.
I know.
I mean, it was hard to look at, and it was hard for the coaches to look at too, guys. Don't think it wasn't. When that Navy game was over with, and Brent Venables came out of that locker room, man, he was on fire. He was like, I just can't wait till next year. That was his words pretty much, man. Big Bo talked about it a lot. He knows what he has. He's not trying to sell wolf tickets. He knows what he has. And
I know that.
That's just how
where
we are right now with it.
Here's the truth of things too. They went out and they spent money on a quarterback that they knew was going to make a difference because they needed to. And look, as much as I am a fan of Michael Hawkins, I think you could have won plenty of games with Michael Hawkins this year. You went out and got a guy that's in the system, that the offensive coordinator that you got, he's not only, look, they didn't play in a major conference, but he still had 44 damn touchdowns last year and over 4,000 total yards. 15 of those touchdowns were running touchdowns, and he almost had 900 yards there. So what I'll tell you is this is his 3rd year in the system. He's helping teach these guys, and you've got some freaking dogs at receiver that appear to be ready to step forward. If your offensive line is taking a step forward, which I believe it is, but that's all we're hearing is that it is. If your offensive line is taking that step forward that they only should because of Bill Bedenbaugh, people that are forgetting that Bill Bedenbaugh is the coach of the offensive line there are out of their damn minds. So it's not out of the realm of possibility to believe that when you're going up against a bunch of new quarterbacks, aside from Nussmeier, and the kid at South Carolina, and what's his name?
At Tennessee?
Tennessee. Yeah.
That's it.
That's 3 quarterbacks that have experience starting in their systems. The other ones don't. Lenore Sellers, Nico, and Nussmeier. That's the only 3. You go up against a Texas team that is literally starting 4 out of their 5 offensive linemen are brand new. They've got all new receivers. Their top 5 receivers gone.
I am not buying.
I'm not buying Texas either.
I'm not buying the Manny hype, bro.
They had the Thorpe Award winner in the backfield. He's gone. Makuba, gone. The biggest part of their defensive line, gone. They're going to put 14 guys in the draft this year, and we're just expecting that, they're going to reload, and Arch Manning is the golden arches, and he's just going to lead them to a fucking national championship in the Heisman in year 1. I don't buy it.
Not buying that at all. Not buying that at all. And I'm telling you guys, it's a lot different coming in behind somebody than you being the man. Yep. Coach, you know that as a coach.
Absolutely.
It's so much different. I mean, they didn't put the word of the world on this guy, say he's going to be a Heisman finalist, and he has to play in the toughest conference in the United States of America. Right. I don't see it. I don't care.
I
I
just
don't see
hope
it.
this. I just hope this. And I know if y'all could throw tomatoes at me, you would, because they're red. That would stand for OU. But I'm going to tell you, I just hope that I don't hear the bitching and moaning, complaining about your new quarterback this
Here
year.
we go.
Oh yeah.
I'm just telling you. I hope I don't hear it because I've sat through these podcasts and this is the next best great quarterback at Oklahoma, and every one of them. Oh, he sucks. He sucks.
Coach,
He
this is
sucks.
not the same thing as what was going on with Jackson Arnold. Didn't you know that?
I do, but I'm just saying.
Coach, I'm gonna tell you, and I understand where you coming from, but coach, from coach to
They
coach,
definitely are rough on
I,
quarterbacks around here.
I'm gonna tell you from what I seen. I seen a kid making split second decisions, knowing where the hell he's going with the football. That's something we did not have last year. We didn't have that. That kid, he gets in trouble. He knows where to go. I've seen it, and that's because he's in that system. That's the same system he's been in. And that is, to me, his talent is there. But what I'm seeing 2 days at practice is him just being so porous in the offense and knowing where people are at. I saw a guy run an out and up, and before he ever hit the damn up, he let that son gun go, man. And it was right there. Last year, we couldn't throw with nobody open. We waited till a guy was pretty much all the way open, and then we try to force it in there.
And I truly hope that's
You
that
know,
that,
and
that it works
I'm
out.
just
I
saying
really do.
from a passing game coordinator myself, what I saw with this kid in 2 days, I'm not gonna say he's no Baker Mayfield. I'm not going down that road. But what I'm telling you, he is 10 times a better decision maker, a better athlete than what I saw in our starter last year in Jackson Arnold. Now, let
And
me give you a Hawkins update. I saw Hawkins make some great plays. You know why the growth that I seen in just a couple days, it's because who he has as an OC and who he has as a quarterback coach.
Oh, I don't disagree with that.
Well, that's what I was
So
fixing to
I,
say too, Coach.
yeah,
You got to know that
no,
with
I
having
don't disagree
Arbuckle,
with that. No,
and then and I'm gonna tell you
I
another one.
agree.
And and,
I
and
agree.
and and you talking about the offensive line when you don't have to hold nobody for 4 to 5 damn seconds, that makes a
Sure.
damn difference.
A huge difference. Well, and I'm gonna comment on T Boomer here. Coach, this quarterback is a playmaker, and we're going to get behind him this year. Well, number one, you should be behind him.
Mhm.
But number two, I've heard this song and dance over and over, T Boomer.
Yeah, yeah.
So, this is the
I
next
heard it
best
too.
great one.
But
So,
but here's
but
the
I hope it does work. I really do.
you,
Because I want Venables in Oklahoma. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I want Brent Venables in Oklahoma to be good. I really do.
here's the deal. When you look at production, if you're talking about going and getting a kid from whether it's FCS, whether it's um the G5, they are looking at production. They're not looking at when you come out of high school, is he long? Is he this or that? They're looking at freaking production. And this kid got production. If somebody some well, you got these FCS guys going to the FBS, dude. If you're a 4-3 guy or a 4-4 guy, it don't make a damn who you playing against. You still a damn 4-4 guy. Just because you playing against FCS guys don't make your 4-4 a damn 4-6.
right.
So that's from what I'm seeing is production. This guy's going to give us production. And with the defense that we had last year, if that defense is the same or if it's better, how many times did the defense give us the ball and we turn it right back over?
a bunch,
You see what I'm saying?
a
I mean,
bunch.
if we capitalize on what the defense did against Tennessee, we beat their ass. That's 2 turnovers in the red zone that we get we can't even capitalize on.
We're leading after the first half. We're at the very worst tied if he doesn't have
Right.
those damn stupid
So
turnovers.
I'm looking at a quarterback being productive. Now, here's my take.
And bottom line, Jackson Arnold was not good. I get what you're talking about, Coach, and I can sit here and
I agree with
I
Coach.
can agree with what you're talking about. But I'm
Yeah.
gonna tell you this: I was behind him and behind him and behind him until I watched the dude piss down his leg over and over and over.
Coach, some people have to have the best of the best to perform. If you go back to his junior high, if you go back to high school, he's always had the best of the best around him. What happens when you don't have that? What happens when you have to be a playmaker, when you're not being told you're elite 11? What happens when the chips are down? That's the kind of guy that materials. He wasn't a damn elite. He just got that, he got that shit about him, bro. I've seen quarterbacks with a factor, with that it factor. He's the type kid, he's gonna show up at the barbecue, he's gonna bring something with him. He's gonna come. The other quarterback they had, he ain't come, he's not coming. He's not doing all that. He is a guy's guy. I seen him break one for about 60 yards, and he looked over at the damn defense and flipped the bird off at him, and they just bust out laughing. That's the type dude you got.
What about the kid that went to Oregon? He wasn't worth a shit either?
Oh, he was a you
Yeah,
talking
he
about
was
Dylan?
good.
He
You
was
know that
good.
we never I didn't badmouth Dylan ever.
Yeah. Man, Dylan.
No, I know you. I'm not talking about you guys. I'm talking about Oklahoma fans as a whole.
Oh, yeah, some of them gave him hell. But if you go back and look at his body of work, man, he gave you the best. He gave you all he could give you, in my opinion. He doesn't have the most dynamic arm, and me and Jason both talked about that. But he
He
was
doesn't.
smart.
He
was
is.
smart on the football field,
And he's a
and that
competitor
makes the
too.
difference.
He's a competitor too.
He's a competitor. He's the type kid. He's working every day to get better. So he's going to be better than that guy who's not working every day, who just have God-given ability. He's going to work every day to get better, to surpass you. And it's just like I'm saying, me and Jason talked about it. I think he does get drafted late, but I think he's a guy that holds a clipboard for 6 years in the NFL. I do. Somebody get hurt, he come in, take care of the business, get up out of there and do his job.
Yeah, I don't know. I almost, and then we talked about this a little bit last time when it came, and I don't want to get too much off on the Dylan Gabriel stuff because I'm a fan. I've always been a fan of him. I think that he came to Oklahoma at a time that we needed his ass.
Yes.
We needed who he was and how he was with the program. He took a lot of flack for that 6 and 7 first season. The only person that didn't take any flack for that fucking season was Lincoln Riley. Jeff Lebby took hell for it. Venables continues to take hell for it. And Lincoln Riley gutted the team on his way out and never takes hell for it. So, it is what it is. When it comes to Giovanni Gibson, I don't agree with that, Sooner in Texas. You're saying that he's got to go for 1,015 touchdowns to not be considered trash? Bullshit. There's too many good dudes in that room, man. There are way too many good receivers that if he has 700, 8 touchdowns, that's a fucking great season. Because you got Burks, who's an explosive guy that they're going to be looking for. We're hearing a lot of good things about a lot of these young guys. We're hearing a lot of good things about
Isaiah
Sategna.
yeah.
There's a lot of good, and not to mention that we've been talking about both Zions, but Zion Kearney has apparently been announcing his presence for a while now. What's up there, Really Flawed? Good to see you in here. So yeah, before we go throwing unrealistic expectations on a first-year guy in the system who looks like he's the real deal to me and runs a 4.3 and is 215 and 6'2", 6'3", that translates. I mean, but that doesn't mean that we're going to sit here and be able to you can guarantee what his stats are going to be because you don't know what they're going to be.
Yeah. That's true. And
And hopefully he's not the only guy you can depend on.
and for you naysayers out there that want to talk about he's an FCS kid, there is 349 FCS players playing FBS football in the 2025 season. So what that tells you? That tells you it's a lot of programs that went and got FCS players to help their program.
Yeah, that's one of the things we're going to be talking about on the Gridiron Insight tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Is talking about some of these FCS guys. This is a different era of college football. If you're just going by the recruiting rankings, which are at worst flawed, at best flawed, and at worst you could say they're full of shit a lot of the times, because unless you're going to every camp and opportunity that you have to go and cough some money up to 247 rivals and on 3, you are not going to be ranked in the top 32. You're not. And the truth of the matter is, we've already seen in the last 2 or 3 years, you can sit here and say, well, their ranking was here and here and here in the SEC. We know just from the 2024 class, let's just talk 24 class, that's a full-on class. They had one guy in our tight end, obviously. If he waits until the 25 class and comes in with this past class, he's a 5-star, the number 1 player in California. The number 1 player in California, a 5-star. He ends up out of the top 100. You had 2 freshman All-Americans, one of which was a 3-star, Eli Bowen, one of which was a 4-star, top 250 guy, that when they got him when he agreed to go to Oklahoma, he was ranked like 480 in the country, playing right next to David Stone, the number 1 defensive tackle in the country. Michael Boganowski didn't go to a ton of those camps either. Teddy Lehman calls him the best safety he's ever seen at Oklahoma, and he played with Roy fucking Williams. Superman. These guys there was a lot of underrated cats in that class, a lot of them. And Isaiah Autry Dent, 4-star, all of a sudden drops to a 3-star because they decided they were going to Oklahoma and they didn't want to go to camps anymore for the rest of the damn year. And because of that, they dropped him how many places?
Oh no, they dropped him. They dropped him a lot. We had rivals call, a bunch of them call, and this is what the information this is what they was telling me. And like, hey coach, we just want to see him, and that. I'm like, he has made his choice of where he wants to go to school. So why do I need to go to Under Armour? Why do I need to go to Rivals Camp if he's already made his choice where he's want to go to school? So what does he have to go and prove to someone else at a camp?
Just to put it into perspective, Michael Fasusi, 6'6". He was 290 pounds whenever he came in. He's up over 300 now, right?
Right.
But 6'5". Isaiah was 6'7" and 290.
Yep.
Just like Ryan Fulton.
Yeah, it's the thing about it is,
and dominated the entire 2 years leading up to it.
Yeah. I mean, that 24K class was undervalued when it came to the ranking system. I mean, we know that. That's why I say, you watch this class in the next 2 years. You watch this class in the next 2 years, because I really know that. I know that this class is special, very special.
Yep. You're not getting no arguments from me. I'm making the argument. Yeah. I'm making the argument with you here. So it's to me. What I know is this, and they just got Jim Nagy, by the way. But this staff right here is as good as anybody in the country at identifying talent.
Yes.
Period. Y'all can talk all the shit you want about Giovanni being an FCS guy. He dominated that shit.
Yeah, about 1,300 yards.
With a terrible quarterback. One
of the worst offenses in that conference.
Mm-hmm.
and you still pull out 1,300.
Yep. Hey, wanted to take a second to say thank you to Nelio for the super chat from yesterday. He said, here's to a fantastic start to the week. Hope you're feeling better, bro. Feeling a little bit better, man. It's still a little under the weather, but I'm damn sight better than I was last week, man, for sure. So thanks, man. I appreciate that. But you can always, you can find our super chat in the description. If you want to go through Venmo or Cash App, we've got both. That's actually the better way to do it because they don't take 40% like YouTube does. But that being said, we'll take it any way we can get it. And to be honest with you, the main thing that you can do to help, the free way to help us, is just hit the damn like button, share the stream with your friends. If you enjoy watching this content and we're going to bring it to you and tell it to you the way we believe that it is, then, help us that way. It's a big deal for us. We did hit our 1 million viewers this past month. Huge deal for us, man. Huge deal for us. But we're looking to continue to grow, and it takes everybody sharing and helping us out to do that. I mean, really, it does. So I appreciate you guys. Make sure you wipe your feet when you walk in. We'd much appreciate it. Thank you, sir. Yeah.
So Jason, are we through talking about the list of
No,
coaches?
that's where, let's get back to that because we were talking about Venables. I think that Venables could very well be the next one. But here's the other thing I would say. Marcus Freeman was an eyelash away from freaking doing it last year. Sark had Texas on the goal line and they pissed down their leg against Ohio State. And, or else he'd have been in the championship game too. They had an opportunity there as well. James Franklin, man, listen, man, I'm not too sure that I buy into him that much. When it comes to, I don't know that Ole Miss has got what it takes. Even I like Lane a lot, but I don't know that they're could sustain what they're trying to do for him to win it. And I think that they're going to take a step back this year because they didn't go huge in the portal and they've got a new quarterback. I know they're not as good on defense. I tend to doubt that it's them. I'm gonna tell you, there ain't no damn way in hell it's Lincoln Riley winning the Natty the next first time Natty winner. No way. But Dan Lanning, I don't know, man. And somebody brought him up a second ago, and I'll pass this to you on him. What the fuck has he done? He's 0-3 against Kalen DeBoer. 0-3. All the people that are saying a lot of things about Kalen, he's 2-0 against Sark. He's 3-0 against Dan Lanning. He's beaten Lincoln Riley both times he played him. Hell, he beat Kirby Smart too. He beat Kirby Smart too.
I'm not a Dan Lanning. Yeah, I'm not a Dan Lanning guy either. He hadn't, just like I say about a lot of things, prove it up, and he has not done that at this point. Now I'm gonna throw a guy's name in the mix that everybody may laugh at me, but I'm gonna throw Mike Elko at Texas A&M into the mix.
I didn't even think about Mike Elko, but I think that's funny.
I think Mike Elko is a hell of a football coach, and I think A&M will give him the resources to bring in.
Do you think it's about that though, Coach?
Well, resources. When you have money, you can bring better players in, and I think I just know that I've seen Mike Elko make chicken salad out of chicken shit. And I think if you don't give him chicken shit to start with, right. I think he can do some great things.
They didn't have a running game last year. They're a lot better.
Oh, I agree. Well, they started off, their quarterback sucked. They made the change and
he wasn't a good fit for that offense. He wasn't a good fit for that offense.
No.
I think he might do pretty well at his next stop. I don't think that he was a good fit there.
And I tell you what, I think Elko had a huge rebuild coming in and following Jimbo Fisher.
Sure. Well, you got to rebuild the culture like you were talking about with LSU.
Exactly. And he will rebuild the culture. I'm telling you, he's a tremendous person and
The
coach.
thing that I remember the most about that Notre Dame game was him screaming into his freaking headset to run the fucking football at
Yeah.
Colin Klein.
Yep. So and guess what? We get the pleasure of playing them at home this year. So that's going to be
Gonna be a
another.
good football game.
It's going to be a good football game. They're going to be tough. So yeah, and going back to talking about Marcus Freeman.
Marcus Freeman, man, yeah, I think that he's got to be high up the list. The guy played for the Natty this season.
Yeah, and and like you and I had lots of conversations. Is him and Brent Venables had a lot of correlation in coming through. So I still think Marcus is doing a great job. I think he's got one of the toughest jobs in the country
in America. Period.
Yeah. So, but I think he's definitely should have been on that list for knucklehead.
Well, and I think that the reason he didn't have some of those guys, because a lot of those guys we've talked about have won a conference championship, and he said Natty, and he said, or maybe not even Natty. What about conference championship even? Which
right.
3 of the 4 that he was talking about were SEC guys. Then you got Lincoln in the Big Ten. Look, I don't see it. I don't see it. Look, and maybe they do hold on to this class. Maybe they don't. I don't know. But you still listen, man. They had the damn Heisman Trophy winner and went 7-5 the next year with him.
Yeah.
I don't buy him until I start seeing. And what we know is this: he took the team that Stoops built into the team. I mean, it was ready made. He didn't have to hire a single fucking coach.
Yeah.
He didn't have to recruit anybody new. And he proceeded over the next 6 seasons or 5 seasons to get worse every year.
Yeah, he walked in the closet.
And they did get worse every year. Don't get it twisted. Just because the Big 12 was a dumpster fire in and of itself doesn't mean that they weren't worse every year. He knew it, and so did, and in the end, we ended up knowing it too. They were still good on offense. They got smaller and softer year after year after year. That's not what you have now. You obviously have to get if you can be healthy, this football team, I believe, is going to definitely change their minds. But I think that Notre Dame is one of those physical, beat your ass in the trenches teams.
Yeah, they're building it like that. That's for damn sure.
Mm-hmm.
And you're right, Coach. That's exactly the way Marcus is building it. Mm-hmm. It's about the trenches. Our guys, our offensive line this year is going to be friggin' incredible.
They got a bunch of fucking freshmen that were killing it last year.
Yeah.
Yep. And they're massive. They're massive.
Yeah, like 6'7", 340, 330. I mean, we're going to be.
And talking about Lincoln, he got to take that over. Venables didn't. He's had to learn on the fly and build his team as he's going. And look at what Lincoln did. Yeah, they won 11 that first year. Guess what? They didn't play Oregon and they didn't play Washington that year. They lost twice to Utah and got beat by Tulane.
Yeah.
With the Heisman Trophy winner, and then
ass kicked by Tulane.
Yeah, well,
yes, sir.
They lost at the end. Coach was there. Yeah,
I loved it. I loved it.
It doesn't matter, man. For the type program that they have, they shouldn't have got beat by no damn Tulane, bro.
Hey, Coach Dan, no way. I was sitting in the midst of all the USC fans, and I was screaming for Tulane the whole game, and they were behind.
Oh, they want to kill you.
You should have seen them son of a bitches taking off out of there at the end of the game. They were scrambling their asses out of there, and I was steadily talking shit.
I bet. You already know
especially my wife's boss sent us to the game, and it was all the free drinks, and so
you was good and ready.
You can bet I had.
Here's what I would say about it.
30 drinks.
You can say ass kicked. You can say whatever you want. I'll tell you this: they shouldn't have lost the game. But this is just, and here's what tells you everything you need to know about Lincoln as a coach. He has refused from all the way back at Oklahoma to employ a special teams coach. They've lost a lot of fucking football games on special teams idiocy, and that was one of them. You know how many times Mario Williams had returned punts up until that fateful play there at the end of that game? Let me tell you how many. Not a fucking once.
That's crazy.
That's when you decide to put him in the field of punt. And it's just like the stupid squib kick during the Rose Bowl. It's just like, and he would sit there and double down on it. And I think he still does for the most part. You have to be a well-rounded football team. And I don't care how good that defense supposedly is. I think they were better last year. I think that they've got, listen, I think that they've got some damn special defensive coaches, man. Danton Lynn is that guy.
Yeah, I agree.
He is. Coach Henney is that guy. But you still got to get those guys in there. And if they know that you're not playing complimentary football, which he never has,
and never will,
it's going to be hard. Yeah. I don't know how much longer he lasts with it, but, you know.
Well, I tell you what amazes me. He's like a fucking magician. He blows smoke people up people's asses, and they just keep buying it.
Hypnotize
you. Yeah.
And as far as he says, you guys could have kept Mario Williams, to be honest. Well, he came with him, and for whatever reason, your boy put him in the game when he had never returned a fucking punt before. That's the time that he decides to do it. He does the one thing that you cannot do to win that football game and fumbles it, and they got to give the football back knowing they hadn't stopped a runny fucking nose all year.
They could not stop Tulane.
They couldn't stop anybody else either.
They couldn't stop.
They just out. I mean, listen, Caleb Williams, Superman out. That's what he did.
They outlast people. Yeah, that's true.
The next year it didn't work like that. They almost went 6-0 to 0-6 the next year because Colorado, had they had any urgency on that last drive in Boulder, they win too.
Yeah.
You know, something else, guys, that as we're having this conversation takes me back to Marcus Freeman. Marcus Freeman, all three phases of the game are pretty much impeccable. Special teams at Notre Dame is just as important. And you know, hell, it hurt Georgia this year. There's
a lot of schools that don't employ special teams coordinators, and I understand why they're doing it, but I'm telling you, I'm not of the belief that needs to happen at Oklahoma anymore, and neither is OU. Hey, within the last few years, we've had issues on the special teams units that's hurt them.
Yeah. Missouri game.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's crucial, guys. Hell, it's 1/3 of the game.
Yes.
Yeah, no, Greg Ray says we're almost there. That's his line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's talking about something else, by the way. But let's just
move. It's Pecker.
Yeah. Pecker size / whatever. Anyway, look, so it ain't Lincoln to me. I think, could I see Dan Lanning winning a natty quick? Yes.
Yeah, I could.
Before Lincoln.
Yeah.
I mean, look, we got to see him actually do it, and I think that he comes up small in big games at times as well. I mean, they got blown away by Ohio. That Ohio State was a damn football team.
But let me say this right here, Jason. Nick Saban is gone. You know, right now outside of Michigan, there's nobody else that's won outside of Dabo.
No, there's three current sitting head coaches that have won a natty. It's Dabo, Kirby, and now Ryan Day.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's 3 out of the whole freaking country.
Well, that's why we're asking the question, who's going to be the next first-time winner?
I would say Dan Lanning. If you really, I think they reloaded from last year. I think they could be right in the thick of damn things next year.
I like Dante Moore a lot.
Yeah, but along with Notre Dame, I'm just gonna be honest with you. Along with Notre Dame, I think those two teams.
Who's going to be the starter at Notre Dame in your mind?
Our quarterback.
Yep.
I'll be honest with you. I don't have a fucking idea.
Damn.
I really don't, guys. We've got
Is it close? Is it that
Who do you
close?
think it better be? Who do you think it better be? Is the question I should have asked you.
Well, I tell you what, you know, and I'm gonna give you a little bit of what other people are saying. A lot of people are saying that they think that shit. I'm horrible with fucking names. Angeli, which he started last year in the bowl game and won the bowl game. Played well. He came in against Penn State this year when our quarter Lincoln Riley went down right before half and moved us downfield, kicked a field goal because we hadn't been moving the ball. So he's played good in those situations, and so he's the guy that really has the advantage from experience perspective and years at Notre Dame. But then you have two guys behind him. You have Kenny Minchie, that is a great runner and has a gun for an arm.
Yeah, he's an athlete.
He's a great athlete. Now, it's his decision making that has been a factor, I think, a little bit. But then you have CJ Carr, that he's been the one that people are saying that he's going to be the next best great quarterback at Notre Dame. So you got three guys that have different. I mean, CJ throws the ball well. He's very intelligent. Obviously, Coach Carr's grandson, that was the head coach at Michigan.
Yeah.
So we've got three great quarterbacks vying for the job. And I think it's all going to come down. A lot of people are really counting Minchie out of the three.
And why?
You know what? I really don't know why they're counting him out, because I'm not. I think he's in the thick of it. And the reason I say that is Denbrock, he likes a quarterback that can run the football, obviously that can throw the football, which last year we had one that could run it, couldn't necessarily throw it well. But Minchie brings that to the table. I think we've got to look at what do we want to do here, because one of these guys is going to leave. One of these guys is going to jump into the portal. And I'm going to tell you, out of all three of them, all of them could start somewhere in college football right now.
So do you think he will not make he will not appoint a clear-cut starter until the fall? Is that what you're saying?
I think so. I think so.
And that way you kind of keep all of them in house.
You keep them all on the fish hook. That's right.
Yeah.
So that's, to me, that's what's going to happen. Marcus Freeman's modus operandus would be that he goes with Angeli because he's got the most experience.
I can see
but
that.
I'm telling you, I honestly, usually I'll say, well, this is bullshit, but it's truly a competition. You hear coaches say this all the time. Well, we're going into this spring and it's a competition between these two guys,
and they already know who they want.
Yeah, we all know who's going to be the quarterback, but I truly believe this is a true blue competition. So, but I tell you what, I'll tell you this: I don't care which one of the three wins the job. I think we're going to be far better offensively than we were a year ago.
Yeah,
and I think defensively we're going to be as good as we were a year ago.
And I think again, the physicality that Notre Dame plays with on both sides of the football.
It's freaking back, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But Jason, I got a question for you. Florida. I know Florida and Oklahoma has the toughest two schedules.
Yeah, we kind of started talking about them and got away from it, but go ahead.
So when it comes down to Billy Napier, as a coach, what he's done in Florida, I mean, just give me your overall projective of just what you think of him, because I got something that I'm gonna hear your side, then I'm I'm gonna tell you what I think about it.
Well, I think he's had his ups and downs, right? I think that there's been times that you're like, what the fuck is he doing? And then there's times that you're like, wow, okay. I think the biggest thing about that football team last year was not DJ Lagway, although it's a very important part.
Mm-hmm.
When he made the switch at defensive coordinator was what flipped that around for them. And I think that was as big a move as you've seen Billy make. He was this far from walking out the fucking door last year at midseason. Do I think that he's gonna? Man, it's a tough place to survive at Florida without. I mean, they fired Dan Lanning a year after they were in a New Year's Six game. A year.
Yeah, and you know, man, you're absolutely right. My biggest thing is I think it doesn't matter what he does. I don't think the Florida fans want him. You know, he pulled out an 8-5 last year, and they was like, damn. You know, I can't believe that happened. We got to deal with his ass one more year. But when it comes down to the fan base, and I think the only reason why they didn't get rid of him was because of the money they was going to have to pay him out. I think that's one of the reasons why he's still there. And I think that's one of the reasons why a lot of coaches will get 4 years instead of the 3 years that they used to get is because of the payouts. But can he win? Man, he's been doing a damn good job. I mean, he won those 8 games. How can you count him out?
We can't hear you, Jace. Are you muted?
Yeah,
he must be muted.
One of those wins was on the road at LSU. One of them was on the road at Ole Miss. If I don't, I mean,
now they beat Ole Miss. Ole Miss came to them.
Wasn't it? It was in the swamp.
It was in the swamp. Yeah.
Okay, but those are big. I mean, those are
those are good wins, man. Those are quality wins.
That's one of those games that kept Ole Miss out of the damn playoff right there.
Right.
You know,
quality damn win.
So, to me, do I think that Billy's? I don't know if he. Listen, we got to see him kind of put it together. I know from what we hear from the professor and those guys, but the thing is about Florida fans is they're kookier and shit too. I love professor and all that, but
he
has to win on it midseason, and by the end of the year they were loving on him, which they should have been. And again, I think that him being willing to make that change at defensive coordinator when he knew he had a young guy and he knew he was going to probably hurt his career, I think that was huge.
I think he has to win. He has to duplicate or do better to stay there.
Even with that schedule.
Even with that schedule, man. Because
he gets Texas at home. He gets Texas at home in the swamp.
Get Texas at home in the swamp.
Their defense is really good. Their defensive line is arguably top 2 or 3 in the SEC.
They're good. Yeah,
really good.
They're physical as hell.
Guys, the bottom line is fans don't give a shit what your schedule is. They expect W's. They expect W's.
When you're a program like that, hey, listen, yeah, the standard is the standard, man, and that's the facts. You're not wrong, Coach. You're not wrong.
You're absolutely right on that. It's just like Oklahoma. Nobody gives a shit that it's the toughest schedule in the country. Is he put up or shut up?
That's it. You got it.
It's one of the damn two. But you know, I do think, man, I think he has to win 8. I do. I think he has to win 8 to stay there. Because this is why I say that, Coach. This is what his 4th year. His money is low. The buyout is down to just about nothing now.
Yeah, it's dropped.
It's dropped. So they can, because anytime you lose a coach in this era of football, you're gonna lose players. And Florida could not afford a year or so ago to pay him and lose players and have to hire another coaching staff. Is the only reason why he's still there.
Exactly.
You know, that's it.
Yeah, I think he needs to probably. I don't know what the number is down there, and you know what? I'll be honest with you. I hadn't watched a ton of it, but I think the expectations are pretty high. And They still owed him. Here's the other question that you have to ask yourself, and I think we've talked about this a lot when it comes to OU and BV. I'm of the opinion that unless it's worse at Oklahoma, they're not firing Brent Venables. And I'm talking 5-4 wins, something stupid like that, which I don't really see. Because it's $35 million that they would have to pay him, and about $100 million in total to get rid of that staff. Not to mention, how much money do you think that they've invested in this roster that they've put together over the last few years? Probably the same. We're talking a $200 million walking out the fucking door. I don't buy it.
That's a lot.
And I think that that's really the reason that they didn't fire Billy last year. Part of it was, I think the biggest part of it is because they didn't want to see Lagway walk out. Lagway's a dog. He's a stud. No doubt about it. The other part was we could pay transfer portal guys and recruits to come in and put some more weapons around this quarterback that we believe in instead. And next year it goes down to 15 million instead of 25 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Right?
That's what's going to happen in college football. Coach, we all knew, what, before the portal, it was 3 years. You had 3 years to prove yourself. Now with these damn buyouts, I think that's out the damn window. Yeah. Because teams can't afford to do what Texas A&M did and what Texas did. Nope. Because guess what? When they did that, they didn't have to buy a damn football team.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, you're correct.
Texas didn't have to buy a damn football team when they let Charlie Strong go, and had to pay him what, $10 million or some crap like that.
Sure.
Same way with Texas A&M when they let Kevin go. They didn't have to buy a damn football team.
Yep.
So now
I agree.
It makes a big ass difference.
It makes a huge difference, and we keep talking about all the things that are intertwined a lot of times to all this NIL money and all the money of paying for these players. And I know we have coming up, to see what's it called, Jason, the base salaries, the revenue share, the rev shares. And I agree with you, Coach. I think all this is weighing in where it hasn't in the past, but this is just another piece of the pie that's associated with building your team.
Yeah.
And that's going to what you're saying. That's why they're not paying coaches 10, 15, 25 million to leave.
You better be, and this is what I think is going to happen. You're not going to get an extension as early as some of the other coaches used to get it. They're not going. If you had a big, they're not going. They're finna stop that. They're finna stop that. I'm telling you, they're going to stop that because it's crippling them.
Well, and something that, and I think that Oklahoma's at the forefront of this, along with like 2 other states, really, right now, where you can actually route your NIL donations through the school so that you can actually write it off as a tax. Mm-hmm. And I think that there's multi-millionaires and billionaires didn't get rich like that because they just didn't write off shit. They're not going to continue dumping money into the laps of kids that haven't really proven anything yet and not seeing any kind of return in their taxes or for any of that other kind of shit. They're not going to do it. So, and I think that in the end, it has to self-correct at some point, right?
Yeah.
It has to self-correct because, and I'm not saying that, I'm not telling you that I believe that it's going to get fair. I'm just going to let everybody know that one more time.
No, it's never going to be
judge
fair.
Pigs. Fair is where you judge pigs. That's never going to be fair. The rev share is going to be what it is, and you're going to have to do it that way. But that's where the big boys that have always been the big boys are going to continue to be the big boys, is because they can afford to do the NIL too.
The big dogs are going to eat.
That's right.
And the puppets going to have to sit over there and wait until they get through eating to get a corner.
Well, and guys, I know we talk about, this is going to level the playing field, and you hear people talking about that. But at the end of the day, it's still going to be those top tier teams that have a lot of damn money that are willing to
Mm-hmm.
spend the money, and they're the ones that are going to continue to win and be successful in college football. And
And
you can slice it and dice it however the hell you want to, but we're not creating parity here.
nah.
We're creating a bigger separation than what we even had
Well,
before.
I think we're creating parity within the SEC and the Big Ten, not all over. You look at the Vanderbilt. I think within a conference we're creating it a little bit,
A
but as
little bit,
a
coach.
little bit, but not overall. Hell no.
No, overall, hell, you got schools
Well,
that
I
are
think
going to be
when you're
they're
getting that
spending
much,
20 million, and you got a school that's paying 3 million out. Shit. Tell me where there's parity in that shit.
Shit,
and there
none.
isn't, and there won't be, and that's the whole thing. But I would say that when you start looking at part of the reason for that, what you're talking about is, make no mistake, these television companies have gone to these conferences and said, look, your Indianas of the world, your Northwesterns of the world, your Vandys of the world, you're not going to take this damn money that we're giving you every year and not put it back into your program,
Oh yeah, that's
or else
already
you
been
won't
talked
be in this
about.
conference anymore for very long.
Yeah.
Yep.
We're not going to drag your asses along. I think that you will definitely see a time when they start going to a relegation type of deal. I think it's on its way. I
Yep.
think that I believe that they should definitely go to 72. If they're going to go to a power 2 or however you want to structure, I don't really give a shit. I think it's probably a power 3. But however that is, I think it needs to be not 48 teams. It needs to be 72, because you cannot cut out half the country and expect to continue getting the lion's share of people giving a shit about it. You can't cut them out.
Yeah. I mean, in high school football, what
Access is all you got to do. You just got to give them access.
you got to
If you
give them
don't do that, then then people stop giving a shit. I'm never going to stop saying that.
Yeah, when you just
But
when it
that doesn't mean it's going to be fair.
when it comes down to where it's just the team. How many people got tired of Alabama winning the damn championship every year? A damn lot of people. A lot of people who didn't like Alabama, who didn't care a whole lot about Alabama, all of a sudden they hated Alabama because shit, they were sick and tired of seeing them. And so if you have nothing but the SEC and the Big Ten, people gonna be like, well, what about Louisville? What about their fans? What about, fucking Tech down the street? What about their fans? So yeah, it's something's gonna have to be done on the G5 level. And when it comes down to like a national championship or something like that, I think that needs to happen
Yep.
because
I agree.
they're not going to be able to compete when the blue bloods and the heavy hitters sit at the table. They're just not going to have a seat.
Well,
Nope.
what I'm saying is, you better put your money back in. You better put your money back in, and that's tells you why. I mean, Vandy went out there and spent some money
Shit.
on a player, right?
And they do. And look, Jason, I'm pretty close to Tennessee, and they're still doing it, bro.
Yeah, I know.
They're still doing it. Vandy is getting some guys. You're like, hold on, wait a minute now. How the hell, that ain't a Vandy player, you know? And they're taking that money, they're redoing the stadium, which the stadium is horrible, but
Yeah.
you know,
Well, they've just redone it though.
yeah, I'm saying they're completing it now. They're finishing it up now. And then even the facilities are getting better because they're looking at it like this. We're gonna make money now. You got Georgia coming to town, you're gonna make money. Not just Tennessee coming to town, you make money. You're gonna make money when some of these other schools come to town. Oklahoma comes to Vanderbilt whenever that happens, they're gonna make money because people are gonna want to come see Oklahoma and Vandy. It's gonna happen. So Vandy is spending their money wisely.
No,
I
listen,
can say that.
the blue blood teams, the power teams that have always been up there, and I mean, and always will continue to play that way, or that's the way they want to play the game. I mean, that's the expectation. But here's the beauty. The one beauty of it is that you are forcing these guys to hold on to. You have to do. You better be willing to continue to do that, because we're not going to give you this $100 million, $75 to $100 million a year to just stick it in your pocket, university presidents. You got to put it in coaching. You got to put it in facilities. You got to put it in players. You got to win.
Yeah, I think that's one of the main things that like I said, Vanderbilt and schools like that. I mean, you take a school like Kentucky, yeah, they're a basketball school, but and I don't think you want to talk about they don't want to say this, but you want to talk about a hot seat, man. Is Mark Stoops on the hot seat?
I don't know, but I mean, I guess he is supposedly,
because you know who they want at Kentucky. They want John Summerall.
Sure. Well, John Summerall's a damn good football coach.
John Summerall is a Kentucky kid. He's a Kentucky guy.
Yep.
That's his home. John Summerall will wait on Kentucky.
I think he's high up Oklahoma's list if Venables doesn't make it.
Dude, I talked to a guy yesterday that is close friends with John. Oklahoma can come open and Kentucky come open. He's going to Kentucky.
That's bullshit, and I don't buy
that. He's going home.
Come on, man.
Look, dude.
There's a difference.
You tell me why.
Come on, bro.
I'm telling you. I know somebody who's personally connected with the guy. He's going to go home and coach the Wildcats.
Why would you do such a thing?
Because Jason, OU's not the best to everybody.
It's not the best to everybody.
And I'm going to tell you this.
Well, I guess it's less volatile for sure. Less volatile. You can last for.
Sometimes people will just want to go home.
Yeah, and that's home.
I believe that shit when I see it, because when somebody like Alabama or Oklahoma comes calling, you better start listening.
No, you don't have to.
No,
you don't have to.
They do though. You know it, and I know it that they do.
Because Texas. No, here's the deal. Kentucky is going to be a safer place for him to play. He's not going to be in a doggone cooker.
And I think the reason that everybody loves him so much, and I'm saying everybody loves him so much, he's the North Carolina coach if it wasn't for Belichick.
And also, dude, I'm telling you.
Just think about this. You're not going after a guy because he's looking for the safe place to go.
No, I'm not saying he's looking for the safe place. I'm saying that's home. That's his dream job. That's coming from somebody who talks to him at least once a week.
And I get that. I do. I get that.
He wants to go. He was the DC there and did a hell of a job.
I think he's a great coach, man. I think he's a great coach. He's won everywhere he's been. He's won everywhere he's been. But that's why I feel like I think it's a tough place to. Okay, here's the other thing. Yeah, are they going to spend the right kind of money though? Because Stoops has struggled with that.
Stoops has struggled with that, but
guys,
there's nothing like going home.
One thing you can't change is if you have a deep-seated love for your home.
Correct.
There's nothing that can separate you from that.
Hold on a minute, Coach. Let me ask you this, because I'm gonna call bullshit on you right here, because you want to go win. And if you know, if that program, which you know damn good and well that Kentucky is not aligned with being a winning SEC football.
No, we're not saying that.
Hold on, let me finish what I'm asking. I'm asking the question.
Okay.
If you have an opportunity to go to a program that has the recruiting structure of Oklahoma and Jim Nagy out there as your GM out there, and this is a guy that ran the Senior Bowl and has been a high-level scout for years, and then you got fucking Kentucky that doesn't pay and is never going to put the resources into winning that you need to do. Do you choose home, or do you choose the program that aligns with you as a coach that wants to win?
Jason, you're asking the wrong guy that question, and you ought to know better, because I'm going to tell you this. I love going to shitty programs.
programs.
Listen, but you didn't go to shitty programs that didn't align with what you wanted to do to make it not shitty.
Well, here's the thing. Kentucky has money, bro.
Tell me
It ain't
I'm
like
wrong.
they don't have money. They got money.
Yeah, for
They
their
freaking
basketball program, they do.
dude. They beat freaking Ole Miss. They had Georgia. It's not like they're a bum damn program. They with the
Kinda are.
right coaches, they could be pretty damn good.
Come
I'm
on.
not saying they're gonna win a damn natty, but it's not like they're a damn bottom feeder when it
Look,
comes
they
to
have the
money.
money to. They will have the money to compete when it comes to because of what the television deal is, no doubt.
Yeah. And the thing
But,
about it is
but if they're not, if they're going to put more of that into the Kentucky basketball, which you know damn good and well they are,
they're gonna put a lot in Kentucky basketball, but the thing about it is
it ain't gonna help.
everybody is not sold on being the Oklahoma head coach.
I'm not saying Oklahoma even. I'm not even just saying Oklahoma. I'm telling you that I would be surprised if John Summerall, as good as he is, doesn't end up elsewhere than Kentucky.
He wants to go home.
Well, they're going to have. I think that they will have to give him a lot more than what they have given Stoops.
And they probably will.
They will.
They probably will. Yeah.
He's homegrown. He played there. He's from there. They're going to give him more than they gave him.
I think both sides of the equation want that marriage.
Who's the last guy
Yes.
that won fucking 9 or 10 games at Kentucky
Money?
besides Mark Stoops? And they're not giving him the money. You know
Who
who it
gives
was?
a
Bear
shit?
fucking Bryant is the last one.
What was Hal Mommy? Did he ever have a 9-win season?
10-win season. Now he didn't. I don't think, but he may have had a 9-win. I don't know. He
Were
had
they
a pretty
playing-
good. He had that one decent season. He had the number one
Were they
pick.
playing 12 at that time? Were they playing 12 games at that time?
It feels like they were still playing 11, maybe. I don't know.
But what I'm saying is, if somebody have a passion for their home place, you can't.
I get that. Listen, I'm not.
can't take
I
that
don't
from-
disagree with you fully. I'm just saying I believe that he's a better coach than that damn program. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah,
Well, yeah.
we can both agree with you on that.
And I have a hard time believing that. I'm not only just talking about Oklahoma. I'm talking about. I mean, I think Tulane's a better program. I got to tell you.
Nah, man.
I tell you,
man.
it's not.
I don't think,
Nah.
guys. I don't think Hal Mummy had a good record there.
No, he had
I
a
think-
good season.
I
he had
think
a
he had
win or
one-
two, right?
A 7-5. I think he had a 7-5
Did he?
season when he was
That
there.
was a lot of smoke and mirrors with Hal.
Yeah, that the
A lot
LSU
of
game
smoke
they
and
thought
mirrors
they
and
had
bullshit,
won.
man, and
Hal was another full of shit guy.
staggering amounts of horse shit was over.
I
there.
mean, Hal ended up at Jackson State and they fired him.
Well, he was at New Mexico
I
State
remember when he
too.
took the New Mexico State job, and that was when Coach was switching over to the spread. He went to go hang out with Hal for a weekend.
Yeah,
Did you?
I listened. I listened to a lot of shit. Is all I listened to.
I mean, he ended up
Don't
at
do it, man. Just go to fucking Tech.
and look, bro, he ended up at a freaking D3 here in Mississippi.
Yeah.
At Belhaven.
And listen, to
And
be
he got
fair,
fired there.
everybody gives Leach all the credit for the air raid, but it's actually Hal's.
Yeah,
It's
it is.
actually Hal's.
It is.
But Leach made it better.
Well,
No doubt.
I can say that, but I'm gonna tell you a guy that ran it a long time ago at Mississippi Valley State. The gunslinger. 5 wide, slinging it every time you turn around. Now it wasn't the short game as what it is.
Right. Are you
It was
talking about
similar.
who was it?
I was a gunslinger. What's his name? Archie Cooley.
Okay. So see, and that's pretty similar to like what they were doing in Houston, right?
Mm-hmm. Exact same thing.
Mm-hmm. Which isn't the same as
No, it's similar. It's not the same. It's
Oh
similar.
yeah, and
It's
I think
similar.
that like the spread, that's Bobby Bowden and them came up with the spread at one point. I think it was Bobby Bowden and like Lavelle Edwards from BYU.
Lavelle Edwards. Yeah.
You know, because I know that's who our high school coach. He kind of modeled his his attack after Bobby Bowden at Florida State,
And then Rich Rod came along and just
Rich Rod was a little different. He had a running aspect to it. Right?
He kind of tweaked it. So it's just like anything else; it evolves. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And look what we have now. We got a mixture. Look what
Hey, I'm going to say that
look
this
what
is a
Oklahoma
good
is
time
running.
to remind everybody that Mike Leach deserves to be in the College Football Hall of Fame, for fuck's sake.
Might happen pretty quick.
That's the last time I said anything good about Texas Tech football was when Mike Leach was there.
It's
Them
unbelievable to
motherfuckers,
me that
they screwed him so bad.
it's the same thing I'll tell you about Otis Taylor and anybody that we're talking about. If we're having an argument about any Hall of Fame, I don't give a shit which one it is. It could be basket weaving. It doesn't matter. If you can tell the story of that era of that sport without the guy, then he's not a Hall of Famer. But if you can't tell the story of the merger era of the NFL without Otis Taylor, and you cannot, then he should have been in the Hall of Fame 50 fucking years ago. Period. End of story. And the same, and you cannot tell football history stories right now, period, for the last 30 years without Mike Leach. You can't. You cannot.
You can't do it. I mean,
hey guys, I'm gonna tell you something about Mike Leach. So we're the coaching clinic.
It was a fucking trip.
Oh, he's a big trip. but we're the coaching clinic, and he had just got through with the talk, and I saw him out in the hallway, and I went over. I said, Coach Leach, I said I really like the screen you were talking about. I know you didn't go into much detail, but I really like this screen. I said, can you share a little bit more about that? He said, sure. He said, come in my office. So I go in his office and we sit down and we start talking about it. And I said, well, listen, I got my offensive staff in the other room listening to the speaker. I said, but could I go grab them real quick? He said, yeah, go get them. So I go get my staff. We come back. We sit down in his office. Guys, we talked on one single play for almost 2 hours.
I can believe it.
And he broke down every player on the play.
Coach, he only had 10 fucking plays.
You're right. But he broke it down from steps. I mean, everything on all 11 players. And then he gets done and he says, well, Coach, what's your best screen? Draw your best screen that y'all run up on the board. So I go up there and I draw what I think is our best screenplay. And he says, Coach, he said, we used to run that pretty much that same screen. He said, I think now that you've reminded me of that, I think I'm going to put it back in the playbook.
Wow.
And about 3 weeks later, I'm watching them play when I used to watch Tech play and when I was a Tech supporter. And I'll be damned if I'm not watching a ball game and I see him run that damn screenplay. And I just busted out laughing. I thought, oh, shit. I thought he was just filling me full of shit. But he didn't. He put that screenplay back in. But
he's a realist, man.
But going back to I'm telling you guys, he was a genius when it came to the game. And what they did to him at Texas Tech was criminal. I had about a 5 to 6 inch binder that I got from, and I can't say where I got it, but all the stuff that had gone on with his case that his attorney had. And I read that damn thing, guys. He got screwed over so damn bad. It was incredible. I mean,
Tech hasn't recovered since then either.
Exactly, Coach. And from that point on, I have become anti Texas Tech.
Well, and I'll just say this: as much as and I'm a fan of Leach, you know that the Pirate was the man. Okay, he got pretty full of himself though at that point, and they tried to pay him, and he was standing on some principle that he didn't. They didn't fuck him out of the money. They tried to pay him $3 million. He was
him out of the job.
Sure, but he dared them to do so. Now I'm going to tell you. I'll tell you, and I'm in agreement with you when it comes to Craig and his fucking kid. That is what it is, right?
Yeah, that's what it is.
But he dared them to do that, and that wasn't the first time he had done it. It was to the point that they had to let him go, man. It was looking bad. Well, he could have taken the money, and he loved using that for the rest of his career to bitch at and talk shit.
Well, let me ask you this,
Jason. That's how he was.
What year?
And he didn't need the money.
What year was Coach B with him? Because Coach B coached a couple years with him. Was he there at that time?
Oh, he was at at Oklahoma for just the first year that Stoops was there, and then
I thought. Hold on.
What are you asking? What's the question you asked again?
I think Coach Bimbo coached with Leach.
Oh yeah,
at Tech, right?
He's the So didn't he come? Didn't he come
from
West Virginia? He came from West Virginia. It feels like
he did. He came from West Virginia.
I want to say he ended up at Tech though. I want to say it was like 07, 08 maybe.
Yeah, because I remember him telling me. I seen some.
I don't really remember Big Bill being there whenever I was covering him.
Yeah, Big Bill told me that he coached.
It was 99, guys.
Was it 99?
Okay.
Now, and Big Bill's considered the greatest O-line coach in the history of that offense too. And
look, guys, this is what I'm telling you. I'm telling you this. We're going back to Arbuckle's version.
No, you're talking about 2009 is when you're saying that BB was at Tech. Is that correct?
1999.
No, that was Oklahoma. That was
Bilbo. Coach B. He was at Tech for I think 2 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was at Tech for a couple years, but Coach Beatonbow's only been at Oklahoma for like the last 10.
Came in 11, I believe.
11 or 12, maybe. You may be right.
I think he came in 11. What he told me, but
because he didn't coach Lane. I know he didn't coach Lane Johnson. He didn't coach Trent.
You sure he didn't coach Lane? I think he coached Lane.
I'm positive
he did not coach Trent.
He didn't
coach Trent.
He didn't coach Trent, but he didn't. He's not the one that brought Lane along either. I'm pretty sure. We'll let the Sooner guys tell us that. All these guys.
Yeah. What? Just from what I'm understanding.
Jimmy, when did BB get to Oklahoma?
2011, I think.
I want to say it was like 14 or 15.
No, it wasn't that. It was 11. It was around 11 because he told me. I remember him saying that Trent was leaving when he came in.
Yeah, that would have been 11 or 12 then.
Yeah,
somewhere around there.
So
that doesn't sound too far off.
Yeah, so Lane is behind Trent, so he had Lane.
Well, but he didn't recruit him he got him after the fact, and he may have had him for a year or two, but he wasn't the reason for Lane being what.
No,
I know I've heard all that.
Beatonbow went to Oklahoma in 2013.
It was 2013?
I thought.
Yeah.
Okay.
He definitely, now he had Creed and all these other, he's definitely done his thing, man. Don't get me wrong. But, they've always had a good offensive line coach at Oklahoma. That hasn't been the thing. Yeah. And actually, wasn't one of them Kevin Wilson? If I remember, I know he coached tight ends too, and then he was the OC. Feels like it was Kevin Wilson at one point.
Yeah, I think he coached. Yeah, it was.
He was the O-line coach at one point.
Yeah, I think you're right about that.
I think so.
I think you're right about that.
Yeah.
You think about all the.
I forget some of these. They're always around though.
He coached the O-line in 2002, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I know, so he was the tight ends coach, I believe, for Joe John and Jermaine.
Actually, he went to OU in 2002, and then he coached the O-line in 2006. So he was there 4 years before he coached the O-line.
But coach, think about this. Think about the guys
I
that
think.
you have
I
right now
think
in the
that's right.
coaching room.
I could be wrong.
Think about the guys that you have in that on that staff right now with experience in just putting a damn good football team together. I don't think you could have assembled with with Jim Nagy coming along. I don't think you could assemble anything more better than what we have right now.
I think it was so underrated for them to get Wilson and they got him as an analyst.
Yeah.
Way underrated.
I mean, but you got a guy who could help Arbuckle. You got a guy that hey man, and he seemed like the type of person, hey coach, let me run this by you. You know, when you got guys like that, man, it's dangerous.
Absolutely, I agree.
You take Nick Saban, maybe 5 years before he retired or whatever. Think about how many head coaches, how many brainiac football heads that he had on that staff with just freaking analysts
Yep.
that help made a lot of decisions that people don't know of.
Yep.
You know, and I think that's what we have with this stuff right here. Like I say, you know, I'm gonna throw out all the smoke and mirrors, coach. I'm gonna be honest with you. What I saw, and I did not expect to see what I saw. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I expect, okay, he's a good quarterback. But the shiftiness, the throwing on the move, the getting rid of the football, knowing where to throw the ball, you know, when the guy's coming out of their breaks, those are things as a passing game coordinator. Those are things that I look at. I'm talking about when you take the
Sure.
snap, you throw it to a spot where he's supposed to be, and when that guy turns around, that damn football is there. Those are things that I did not see from and even Michael Hawkins, and I love Mike. He does not have that awareness just yet. He will.
He
After
didn't get coached just like nobody else got
right,
coached last year from
that's
Steve
exactly
Spurrier.
right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think
And
you're gonna get a lot of development there. Let's go ahead and finish up. I know we've been going for a while, but we've been talking about who is the guy, who's the next first guy. You know, so give me a couple. I mean, obviously, I believe that Oklahoma is going to win an Natty in the next few years. So I think that Venables could be. I also think that you could probably look and say,
I just don't see Texas A&M. I just don't see.
I could see BK, as crazy as it sounds. I could see
Yes,
BK winning.
man. I hate to agree with your ass, but I do.
I hate even saying this shit. I really do. But I also, and the other one, I'm going to tell you, I'll give you three. I think that probably the next one is Marcus Freeman.
Oh yeah,
I think he's the best. I think he's one of the
he's
best.
closer than all of
Without
them.
a
That's
doubt.
for sure. He's closer than all of them.
It just depends on what you get out of that quarterback room. I think defensively they're going to be damn good. And I think that Denbrock's a hell of a coordinator. I want to see which one of those quarterbacks steps up and becomes their guy.
I think another thing you're going to see with them too this year is I think even though they're going to have a quarterback who can throw the ball better, it's going to open up the run game. And I already hear our new running backs coach that
Your
Coach
running back
Tiger
room is ridiculous too.
we got five. We were just having a conversation today, guys. We got five running backs that are all unfucking believable, but only one stands at the top, and he's separated from the rest.
Is it Minshew to you?
Huh?
Is it Minshew to you? I think it's Carr. I think it better be Carr. Or are you losing?
Well, and I'm talking about the running back room.
Oh, the running back room. Oh, Jeremiah?
Yeah. Jeremiah Love stands heads above everybody, but I'm gonna tell you, we have four others that are friggin' incredible.
Coach, let me ask you this. I mean, after spring, do you keep all those guys?
I think we keep the majority of them. I think we may lose one, could lose two, but I don't think so because some of those guys, a couple of those guys are really young guys.
Yeah,
They're and so I think they'll wait their time. Uh, but no, our running back room's loaded. But I see us vying for another national title next season, and going back to talking about the coaches, and I think Marcus is definitely going to be in the hunt to win a title next year.
man, he's a guy that the kids relate to, and that's something
They love him,
big,
man. They
and
love
that's
him.
something
And just like
special. I
BV,
mean,
too, I think they love him too.
yeah, he separates himself. You know, he's a cool guy, but they know he mean damn business. They don't play with him. They don't
Coach,
fuck
you hit
around
the
with him.
nail on the head. You hit the
Oh,
nail on the head. They love him because he's cool. Because
yeah,
he's a
Went to
cool
the middle
dude.
of Denbrock's ass during that freaking
Oh,
Ohio State game.
yeah, but
Coach,
he
he
will get it.
he
He would chew. He'll get your ass told now.
Hmm.
yeah,
And
he
and I
will.
think that's what the kids like about him, man. You
Yeah.
know,
No,
he's
he
very transparent in what his goals are and what he want to do with the program.
but you know, the thing that he's done is he's taken the Notre Dame culture and he's embraced it
He has.
because that's something Brian Kelly never did and never could do.
Nah, he didn't.
And I think that's the difference in bringing some of these best players in the country in.
Look
Uh,
at Norman,
but
big old paw.
Oh, damn. His fucking feet are as big as
Norman is
my
trying to
head.
get on the show, man.
Hey, man,
no,
the dude is just monstrous, though. He's getting me like
no.
I
a
seen that. I
linebacker
seen that big ass paw on your damn shoulder. I'm like, what in the hell?
size of my damn head.
But
Oh,
yeah, man. And I'm gonna say this about BV and closing. You know, BV is a guy who is respected by every coach. I think in his peers. I really do. I think he is that. It's an unfortunate situation what happened with us and the receivers, but it's just like you said about the schedule, coach. Nobody gives a shit about that. Nobody gives a damn about what really happened, how it happened.
no,
They could give two shits about that.
no.
Damn.
They want to
Schedules, injuries,
yeah.
it don't make a
Al,
damn.
what the late great Al Davis said, win baby win. That's the end of
That's
conversation.
it. That's
And, it,
it.
and there's
And
nothing
and
else outside
especially
of
for
that.
fans.
For
And
fans.
especially for fans. Yeah.
Yeah. The
They
fan
don't.
base means
Yeah,
a
hey,
fan base means a
my
lot.
favorite quote, guys, the fans are gonna say, I don't give a shit. I mean, that's what they're gonna say. Uh they just expect you to win ball
Yeah.
games. I don't care. I got to tell you, and you guys know this. I can't tell you the countless numbers of injuries that we had at Notre Dame this year. And
Yeah.
had we been healthy, I'm not sure we don't beat Ohio State's ass if
Yeah.
we didn't stay healthy.
Right.
Uh,
And
but
that's
but
and
I
that's
agree with you.
that's the thing. There he is. What's up, Norm?
Off my ass, dude. Come on now.
Damn,
Norm's licking you,
Norm is
giving you a
in
little
the
ear
building,
kiss
bro.
there.
Yeah, and Daniel Looney just remembered Texas sucks.
The brand has finally returned. Fuck your brand.
Man, I can tell you this, man. It is going to be very exciting come August. Man, I can't wait for it to get here. I'm not trying to push time or anything, man, but I think this football season you're gonna see some stuff that you hadn't seen in a while from Oklahoma. I just really do.
Yeah.
Even with the Dylan Gabriel season, the 10-win season, I think this team is gonna be so much more rugged. And what I mean by rugged, they're gonna walk with a big ass stick. And that team, they won 10 games. It was kind of cute. But this team right here, I don't think I don't think you had a cuteness with this team. I think you got somebody walking with a big ass stick, and every time you get in the way, they're gonna take your ass out at the knees. That's the mindset that I see when I see receivers, DBs talking trash to each other. I'm watching everything that's going on. Body language means a lot, coach. You're a coach. You can step on the field. You can see what body language means. If that body language, you can tell, oh, these motherfuckers finna get their ass whooped.
Yeah.
Because the body language is there. And all that jumping around when they doing all that damn jump around, all them some bitches, they trying to scare you. They're not serious about what you can look at a team and look at them damn guys and say, you know
Oh
what?
yeah,
We in a motherfucking fight tonight.
we're gonna be in a fight
Amen,
today.
brother.
We're gonna get in a fist fight
Amen.
today.
You can put that damn headset on that sideline, and I done walked and I looked at that other team, and I can tell my boys, hey, you better strap this shit up because
Yeah.
we in a fight tonight.
Yeah.
Well, coach says little ones bunch up, big ones
That's
line up. We're
That's
gonna
right.
whoop your ass.
And you know it if you've been in the game, you coach long enough, you can tell it. You can feel
Oh,
it.
hey, even
You
playing
feel it in the
in
locker
high
room.
school, even just in high school, you know which teams are gonna knock the shit out of you and which ones are soft.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know which ones they are,
And everybody knows
and you know
Flint
it all
Venables
week. You
defense
know it
is
all
gonna
week.
knock your damn ass off.
Hell yeah, you know it all week, all
He's
week.
coming. Yeah, if we get if Kendall Doble is ready to go day one
Oh,
and he's back to where he is,
oh,
where he was, man, come on, man.
bro, I love me some
I
Kendall.
do think they go to the portal and get 2 corners. That's just my
Well,
opinion.
maybe if they can listen, and maybe Nagy's out there pulling some strings, man. I
Man,
hope
come
so.
on, bro.
That's what he's here for.
He got the connections, bro.
Y'all need
Yeah.
some better
Hey,
safeties.
we got to bring this up. I'm glad, Scott Walker. Thank you for bringing this up again. I almost forgot to do it. Kimberly K brought it up earlier. So apparently, Mike Gundy
People that are negative and voicing their opinion are the same ones that can't pay their own bills.
is now talking about rekindling Bedlam for the scrimmage or for a scrimmage a spring game. Let me tell you what I think of that shit.
He's doing what?
Let's do it in a spring game because then it won't count against his sorry ass record against Oklahoma that he's 3-17 against them or 4-17 against them. I'm sorry. Fuck Mike Gundy and that bullshit ass. No, I wouldn't do it out of principle. Nope.
Man,
Nope.
nah.
No. Either you have the game or you don't.
Yeah.
That's true.
Fuck
I mean,
that
I don't
shit,
think they
man.
played him in anything this year, right?
Oh yeah, basketball. They will have played them at least a few times in softball and baseball.
I'm just saying this year they did not play at all in baseball or anything. They did not play him at all.
They haven't yet, I don't think.
Mike Gundy is a pink taco.
People that are negative and voicing their opinion are the same ones that can't pay their own bills.
Oh, Coach Overly.
Fuck that guy, man. I'm gonna say this. Hell, man. Don't do it. Do not let that man come into the stadium again and not get to take his L. Especially after the way that they fucked us in the damn last Bedlam.
Oh man, that the Big 12 referees they gave us a poker. They gave us as my uncle said, they gave us the green weenie, baby.
Yeah. I think it's a stupid. I don't like the idea. I hate it. And he's weak to bring, because here's the thing, Coach. Me and Coach were at Big 12 Media Days 3 years ago now. It'll be 3 years coming up.
Yeah, it's coming up 3 years. Wow. It's been that
and
long
that
already,
was-
Jason?
It was the third fucking year in a row that he talked shit about Texas and Oklahoma going to the SEC and blamed Oklahoma for the Bedlam game ending when Oklahoma tried to continue it because you're supposed to play as an SEC team. You're supposed to play another Power 5 or Power 4 now out of conference game. That's part of the scheduling protocol for
they
the
could have
SEC.
done that. They could have done that easily.
It should have been done, and the money says it should have been done. The reason it wasn't done, make no mistake, was because he's yellow. Weak.
Yellow fellow.
Pink taco, whatever you want to call it. He has
Boy,
the
y'all
worst
wild there.
record. He got his ass whipped when he played there. He got his ass whipped almost every time he played Oklahoma as the coach, head coach or assistant, trash ass record, and he was sick of it. Period. Plain and simple. Don't let anybody lie to you about it otherwise. Do not.
He must have something
Coach was fucking
on
with him
somebody
too in
up
that
there,
press
man.
conference. Coach was fucking with him. It was great. It was
He
fucking.
must have something on somebody, bro.
Well, I'm gonna tell you something. I
he
know
must have.
something. I know
He
that
gotta
it's
have
not gonna be
something on
long
the
till
people
he's
up there,
gone.
man.
And if what I heard about gets out, you'll know what it is. I can't say it. It's gonna get out before long. He ain't gonna be there much longer.
His days are numbered.
His days are numbered.
Yeah. If
Fuck that guy.
if he has the season he had last year, I think he's out.
Mhm.
I think he's out anyway.
I don't think they
If
have.
Governor Stitt gets the president's job, it's over. His ass is gone that day, and that'll be in like a year and a half, I think, according to Okie Light Cody.
Man,
And actually, K. Chris was talking about that too.
I just don't see what the people there. I don't see how they drink that water, man.
I don't either.
No,
No,
man.
you know what it is? It's
I don't
that
understand.
inferiority little brother thing. Man, I'm gonna tell you, A&M is the same reason I don't buy. It's not that I don't buy Elko. I just don't buy A&M as real. Same reason as Oklahoma State, because they have that little brother
But they have a real coach.
complex.
They have a real coach.
I agree with that. I agree with that. Jimmy Johnson couldn't win the big one at fucking Oklahoma State either.
Yeah, that was a long fucking time ago.
I'm just saying, Coach. I'm just saying.
My guy, Coach.
91-20 and 1.
Let's say, Coach, that was a
91-20 and 2,
long
whatever
time
it is.
ago.
91-20 and 2 is the record.
Hell,
They
some
just
people don't even.
They don't want. They will never be able. And you know what tells you how really shitty they are? That as soon as Big Brother leaves, they go 0-9 in the fucking Big 12.
Well, I'm gonna tell you something. Okay, I'm gonna take a school that I think had probably the best college football team ever, and I don't think they will ever win another natty, and that's Miami. You mean the same scenario? Miami got all kind of money, just like Texas A&M do.
Oh, they do.
Texas A&M does, but I just don't think it's something. It's a disconnect somewhere, guys. I don't know if it's the campus with it's a disconnect somewhere with them. You just feel it. You just feel it. It's the same way
They
there's
just they don't believe that they can do better. They don't believe they can do better.
Yeah, they don't. I mean, the years of Jimmy Johnson is gone. That'll never happen again. They got money, but they gotta have somebody that's kind of rugged to lead that program. And I don't think they have that right now.
Well, we that's our game one this year. The new convicts versus Catholics game. Round 2.
And see, you guys are gonna win that ball game. But this is what I'm saying. Last year Cam Ward saved his damn job. If you just want to say he doesn't have another Cam Ward, guys. He doesn't have.
You don't think that
No.
No?
I think they're in the ACC. Yeah,
I don't think he's better than Cam. I'm not saying I think he's better than Cam Ward. I think he's pretty good though.
Yeah, he is. But Cam Ward couldn't get him to the playoffs.
Even in that shitty conference.
Thank you. They couldn't get him to the playoffs.
Yeah, I think the ACC is worse than the Big 12, I gotta say.
Oh, hell yeah, man. Come on.
Say that again, Jason.
I said it. The ACC is worse than the Big 12. I know you're down. I know you're down on the Big 12.
What's wrong with Coach, man?
That's the best fucking joke I've heard all night.
Here's okay, Coach. Let's just look at it overall. You got
SMU and Clemson. You think were better than all those teams in the Big 12 last year?
You know what? I'm not sure the worst team is not better than the best team in the Big 12.
Come on.
They suck.
Come on. Yep. I'm sorry, Neilio. I'm trying here. I'm trying, man.
Well, you
Who's the worst?
started it.
Who's the worst team? Who is the worst team in the
I think the
ACC?
you,
ACC
you
worse.
you threw
Who's
the
the worst
bait out
team?
there.
I think
Who's
the
the worst
ACC
team
worse.
in the ACC, Coach?
Who's the worst team in the ACC?
Yeah.
Hell, I don't know. But it's better than the best team in the Big 12.
Last year was Florida State's sorry ass.
Yeah, that's what I was just finna say.
Last
You
year
know,
was Florida State's sorry ass.
3
Yeah,
games,
they
3
were pretty
games in the
bad.
They were
season,
bad.
3 games in
They
the
were
season,
pretty
4
bad.
games in the season. He'll be looking for a job because I just don't think. Not saying that he's not a good coach. I'm not saying I don't like Norvell because I've met him several times, and I think he's a great guy. But I think
He's a good person, but I'm not.
I think his situation has ran its course there. That's
Yeah.
all I'm saying.
Where? Who?
At Florida State, Norvell.
Oh yeah, Norvell.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean,
I'm not a big. Well, that situation isn't getting unfucked. They just re-upped his ass before last year.
yeah, but I don't think they can. They're not now. They're one program that say, you know what, we just can't take it anymore. They're gonna have to pay the payout if he doesn't
Coach.
if he doesn't go if he doesn't win 8 games next year, 7 to 8 games, or I think he's out.
I guess that they were willing to pay to get out of the ACC. Coach, did you see this? This is what Neilio's saying to you.
Yeah, I saw it. You know, Neilio. You're talking about your bait. You know what? It's hard to bite ingrown bait. Also, AKA pink taco.
Pink taco.
I
love you, Neilio, but the Big 12 sucks.
Wow. Yeah, Big 12 is not good. It's
No.
not good. Neither one of those conferences are good. Just be honest.
They're neither
agree.
good. But let me ask you this. Let me
I-
ask you this though.
Okay.
Neither conference is very good. I think we can all agree on that.
I think there's some good teams in those conferences. But I don't think. Oh, I don't think
At the very top. At the very top, you know what? Big 12 has maybe 3 that are really good
Who are they?
or fairly good. BYU.
I like BYU. I like K-State.
K-State.
I like Kansas. I like Kansas, man, right now.
Kansas still hadn't done shit.
Yes, they have done shit in comparison to Kansas.
Really.
Come on, man.
Well, but still, that doesn't make them good. Just because they're better than
you.
Just because they're better than Kansas used to be.
I think Lance Leipold has done a great
job.
No,
I think Lance is great. He's done a great job, but they still hadn't done anything.
What's your thoughts on Colorado?
I like Colorado too.
Yeah,
I think they're on their way back. They're not where they have to be, but I think they're on their way back.
I'm finna say something.
Go ahead. I know where you're headed. I know where you're headed. Here we go.
No, I'm finna.
Here comes.
Actually, I'm finna shock you with this one. I think Juju Lewis is gonna be a better quarterback than Shedeur Sanders was. You know why? I have watched this kid. I have coached against this kid. I've seen this kid his whole entire life. This little summer gun is a damn winner. Not saying that Shedeur isn't, but I'm telling you, this kid. He's not demanding the fame and all that kind of stuff. I think the team will rally around him because of who he is internally, not because who he is outside. Not because he's Deion's son, because he's a great football player, he's a great leader, he's a great guy. Not saying Shedeur wasn't these things, but it's a difference. You know, it's pretty much you had to respect Shedeur because if you didn't, you're gonna catch it from Pops.
Stop it.
Right.
Man, it's facts. Go listen to some of the damn players. It's facts. I'm not giving you no bullshit. I can back up every damn thing I'm saying. But I'm telling you that this kid right here is
I
going to
don't
be
even
better.
care. I'm just fucking with you, man.
This kid is going to be better. Colorado is going to be better with this kid at the quarterback position.
I wouldn't doubt that.
Bank it.
I
Hey,
really
Coach,
wouldn't.
look at this one. Look at this one, Coach.
Comparing
Ganja, you are the man.
It was like
That's pretty
comparing
funny.
which is better between a shit sandwich and a. Oh, amen, brother. I'm with you. Hey, I
That shit
am
is
with you
on
all the way.
point. That's
You
on
better be
point.
careful. You better be careful. You may have to go get some
Neilio's
of that
coming at
little.
you. Neilio's
You
coming
may
at
have to go get some little Neilio.
you. Neilio's gonna come at you.
Oh man, that is. Hey,
with that
shit.
with that with that
Yeah, did you see that?
Neilio's
I gotta
coming.
put that one on a t-shirt.
Neilio's coming at you with that ingrown pecker.
Yeah, we seen Troy
I
Taylor
think.
got
Hey,
fired
listen.
today.
I'll say this. I think the best quarterback in the Big 12 is at K-State.
Yeah, for
So,
right
guys,
now.
let me just ask this question: in the last 10 years, who's won more national championships, the ACC or the Big 12? Oh, okay. I knew that would take you long to figure out.
Whoop de fucking shit. So, because Clemson won a couple? Well, good for them.
Hey,
Clemson, Florida State.
they're in the ACC, right?
Clemson. Hey, Florida State hadn't won a playoff. They didn't win a playoff championship.
Hey, Clemson was in the ACC when they won it.
Oh, that was BCS, right?
Mm-hmm. They played for it the next year and lost.
Right.
But
and y'all didn't tell me what the number was for the Big 12. 0.
Hey, yeah, I was looking at that stuff about. Did y'all see where I didn't even realize Andrew Luck had become the GM over there, but he shit canned that coach real quick. Apparently, there's been a lot of rumors about bullying and stuff like that coming from the coaching staff towards the players and stuff like that. So they fired his ass. 2, 3, and 9 seasons don't take long, even at Stanford.
Yeah,
but they're not playing the NIL game either, or they weren't.
No. They're not. They're not. I mean, it wasn't. But a few years ago they got beat by Liberty when they was a FCS. Man, that program just been down for a while.
Oh yeah, man. Since Luck has been gone, or Christian McCaffrey anyway.
Yeah.
Who's the head? Coach Dent, Neilio on your ass now.
Hey man, look here. Get him.
It
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter with me, man. I'm gonna laugh my ass off regardless.
Yeah, man,
it don't matter.
And hey, and you know what? This is the beauty of college football. We can sit here and talk shit all day long about somebody. We can start with Dabo and end with Gundy's ass, or Troy Taylor, or Dan Lanning, or hey, I gotta tell you, for all this talk that Joey McGuire does about the fucking Big 12 running through Lubbock, it ain't run through there yet. I don't give a shit how much money, and they've been spending money.
Oh, they spending a lot of damn money in Lubbock.
The only thing running through Lubbock is green shit diarrhea.
Hey, Coach's nephew, or Coach's grandson last year, as a 9-year-old, was beating the shit out of his players in the camp. I couldn't believe he took him to that camp, man.
He was driving their ass back. Well, I tell you what it was, Jason. You know, the day before we went to the Micah Parsons camp.
I like Coach McGuire, but come on.
Oh, I do too. I like Coach McGuire, but the day before I took him to the Micah Parsons camp, and so then the next day was the Tech camp. So we thought, hell, what the hell? We'll stay here another night and go to the camp. But he was destroying his players. And I'm not lying because I got it on video. I showed it to Jason. He busted out.
I fucking laughed. I was like, God. I said, but hey, Coach, aren't you worried about mediocrity rubbing off on his ass over there?
That's wild and crazy, man. So I
I can't
I
help
think,
it, dude. I cannot help it.
hey man, y'all hard on the Big 12 today, boy.
No,
Hey,
not all of the Big
I'm
12.
always
I'm not always on the Big 12. I'm hard on certain teams in the Big 12, like Okie Light and Tech. Sorry.
I'm hard on the Big 12.
And you know
I'm
why?
not.
You know
I'm
why
not.
I'm hard on
I
Tech?
thought it was funny.
I'm hard on them because once OU and Texas left, they became the shit conference.
Mm.
Just my opinion.
We know.
That's pretty much the truth. I hate to say it's
Hey,
the
listen,
truth, man.
but it's. I think it again. I'm going to say this one more time. You need the Big 12 and the ACC. You need those programs.
And you
And
need them
for this
and you need
golden
them to
goose,
be good.
for
You need
these
them to be
golden
good.
goose, for the golden goose to continue to lay eggs,
Yes, you
you
do.
must keep these programs around
Yes, you
and
do.
give them access to your party. If you don't, it all goes away.
I agree with you 100%. I definitely agree with you. I mean, it would be good to see ACC or a Big 12 team really make a hard run. I'm just being honest with you guys. It
I
really
mean,
would.
Arizona State. Listen, I think Arizona State was. They did everything but win that fucking game against Texas, man.
They were my
Semifinal
other
run would
team.
be good. A semifinal run would be very good for.
Yeah. I mean, you talk about a team that was
those
picked to
programs.
win. You talk about a team that was picked to win to come in last. End up winning the damn thing.
And that's 2 years in a row that like West Virginia, not one, but West Virginia was the year before that when we were there at the Big 12 Media Days. And remember, Coach Brown was pissed about fucking
Yeah.
being picked last. And we said it that day. It was like, watch, West Virginia is going to be better than that.
And they were.
And then last year they picked BYU like 13th, and they picked ASU last, and they tied for the conference lead. ASU got in it with Iowa State. And Iowa State has been really good, by the way.
Yeah, man, you know what? That's a team. Man, that's a
Listen,
team
man,
that's
Chad does a good job too.
he does, man, but they fall short at the line every time. It's somehow, man, it's just like when
Not
they
Chad,
reach for the
but
finish line,
Campbell.
they can't finish. They
Mhm.
can't finish.
But I love BYU.
Yeah, they them damn 30-year-olds will knock your ass out.
They will, and I like that. What's his name? Sataki or
Kalani is one of the best coaches.
Kalani? Yeah,
No doubt.
he is. I fell in love with him at the Big 12 conference.
He's a good dude.
Listen
Man.
to
I like
him speak.
yeah,
and it was-
he had you ready to get up and like, let's go.
I was ready to go whip somebody's ass.
And they had a shitty quarterback. I knew their quarterback wasn't very good, but they still weren't bad that year.
Too bad
Well, let me
Gundy
ask
wasn't
you this,
around.
coach, is the BYU coach, is it possible for him to land one of these big time Power 4 jobs? Do you think he will want that?
I don't think it is, but I don't.
Florida State.
We were talking about being home earlier.
I think he could, but I don't know that he cares to.
Well, hey, thank you, Jason, because we were talking about
That's a
being
different
home.
animal than fucking Kentucky, though.
But I'm just telling you, we were talking about being home, and I'm telling you, he's home.
There's
And
a
so
difference in
I'm not
BYU
sure.
and Kentucky, for fuck's sake. Come on.
I'm not sure that he would take one of those because he's happy where he's at. He's home.
There's a difference in the two.
I didn't say there wasn't a difference.
I'm making that fucking comparison, dude. Don't do that.
But he's home.
We're going to compare apples and oranges now.
I'm not saying, I'm not even comparing the two. But I'm saying is he's home, and it's important.
It is. It is.
I'm not comparing the two.
That's why 6'4". What's his name?
That's kind of the reason why I asked the question, Coach, because I know he's home. Will he take a Florida State if it comes open?
A lot of it, I think it has to do with the church, though. As much as it's BYU, it's the church and LDS, and I mean that it aligns with. I think that's necessarily. Bronco Mendenhall was really good.
Jason went out.
I don't know what just
happened. Jason, you gone out. I think every time you start saying shit that's not right or true, It kicks you out.
Kick your ass out right now.
That's crazy as hell, man.
No, I think that when it comes to like Bronco Mendenhall was there for a long time, but he
See what I tell you?
I think
He's
you have to
lying again.
Yeah.
It was a bad idea on his part. But I do think I think that Sataki's pretty good. Yeah. Do I
He's damn good.
Neilio asked me, am I yeah, I do.
Not again. Would you guys said that
I
again?
agree.
You went out. He's out again.
Jason, you got to quit lying so shit will quit knocking you off.
I guess something's up. Something's up. Something's wrong with the network. So we need to go anyway. It's been a while.
Yeah.
And I appreciate everybody coming in. Make sure that you get over and check out me and Marcus Dent on the Gridiron Insight tomorrow. We're going to be talking about FCS programs and the SWAC in particular, and what is, I mean, you know, they have a history of having some of the best football players ever coming out of that conference, and I don't know, is it the same? We'll talk about it more tomorrow on his show there on the Gridiron Insight. Make sure you get over there and like his page now. If you were here on our stream, make sure you do that. If you were on his stream,
how many likes did we have?
Let's take a look. Ooh, 41 out of 500 or something. So
that's such piss poor.
Got to do
at least out of the people, we've got 35 people in here. So everybody in the YouTube stream on my side has hit the like button. Or we're 1 for 1 on it right now. That doesn't necessarily mean that. But yeah, Coach, anything else you want to add before we get out of here?
Big 12 sucks.
I fucking knew it. Hey. Marcus, tell everybody how to find you. I was telling them, but
oh man, hey man, y'all go to the Gridiron Insight and come over there and just check us out tomorrow around what time we're going, like 7:30 tomorrow.
Your time, 7:30.
Yeah, 7:30. We got some
Central
cool
time,
stuff. Central time. We got some cool stuff that's lined up. We're gonna talk about this FCS mass, exit to the FBS, and we got some stats and things to kind of back that up. So you guys come on over there and check us out.
Absolutely. Yes, sir. Make sure everybody, hey, if you've been watching us on Twitter, we appreciate it. But it'd be a lot better if you kids came over here and hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We did finally get over 4,300 for damn. I don't know how the hell it happened. It took a month and a half. We were hovering between.
There you go.
A month and a half. Shit you not. I think we're doing a little better these days. I think we're doing a little bit better. But we appreciate it. Everybody coming in. We will see you all in the morning on Rise and Shine College Football right here on Hall of Fame College Football. See you on the next one.
Love you, Neely.